Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review, Beer Dweebs United. And I'm just gonna try and get my camera to. When I stand up, I'll have to turn that light off. You just get to see me even more ghosty than usual. Anyway, so what are we drinking? We'll start with Joseph.
Yay! Well, now this isn't 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 in Ochente. I don't have a chart behind me, and there's no big picks, although, the night's early. But I am drinking from Three Floyd's Dreadnought. It's all right.
What? Is that a shelf turd over there? What's going on?
It's a turd. Some kind of turd.
Where did you get that? Seriously.
You're about right here. You should be about right here or completely off the screen. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't give up my sources.
Johnny G.
Inside voice, your inside voice.
Come on. I'm fucked up.
Ewart, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a fine product from France, Perrier.
Perrier.
I'm glad we can't see you.
Do you want to see my Perrier? I'll show you my Perrier.
Not really. That's why.
Zoom in on this. Zoom in on this. I'm trying not to drink during the week, guys. It's yeah.
Get that bland, tasteless thing off the screen.
Are you just gonna overindulge on the weekends, though? Is that what's gonna happen?
No, none of that either.
Hey, this is my weekend. What are you guys talking about?
I will overindulge on some weekends, not every weekend.
We'll start with this one and go from there.
I got a beer festival in February, so I'm saving my liver for it.
One in February?
There's
a special one in May.
February comes first?
Lisa, what are you drinking tonight?
Boxing Rock Temptation Red.
Ooh. Boxing Rock Temptation Red, nice. Nicolate.
I'm going to be drinking my last bottle of Catris Surfers de Apocalypso.
That's a nice beer. Is that I'm in a different window right now, but is that a big bottle or a 330 or something?
It's the big bottle, like, what is it, 650? 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if they did it in a smaller bottle or not, that's all.
Oh. I'm only a tall bottle, so I don't know, on tap.
Yeah, I like that beer.
I've never seen it on tap.
Oh, I've seen that.
For some, I don't get why, but for some reason we got it on tap in one of the bars in town. So it's pretty damn fucking good on tap.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
So I am going to be drinking. What should I drink first? I am first going to start with Thornbury cider, just for shits and giggles. So that's what I'll start with. And before we get in onto anything, I'm going to do a blatant little plug here. Tickets go on sale starting tomorrow for the Albino Rhino Beer Fest on May 14th, 2016 at the Sanctuary Centre for the Arts at 209 Ridge Road North in Ridgeway, Ontario. Ooh, that's a lot of work. For the most part, our vendor list is done. There may be a few changes before then, but again, it'll all be showing up on Facebook if anything does change. So far, we have 8 food vendors and 27 breweries. And our brewery and food vendor list is as follows: Brimstone Brewing Company, Bo's All Natural Brewing Company, Refined Fool Brewing, the Smokin' Buddha, who won Best Food last year, Alora Brewing Company, Reinhard Brewing, Highlander Brew Co., Broadhead, Nickelbrook, Mash Paddle, who's going to bring their alt beer for Joe, Inocente, Garden Brewers, Flying Monkeys is back this year, Bell City, Double Trouble, Trafalgar Ales and Meads, Royal City Brewing Company out of Guelph, Ontario, the Black Swan will be back, Ironwood Cider will be there for the cider lovers, Silversmith will be there, Cucina a Go-Go will be there, it's an Italian food truck, the Cayman Kettle, the brand new brewery out of Fonthill will be there, Cameron's of course, Black Oak for Greg, Innocent Gun Oak-Aged Beer will be there. Stewart's Fried Chicken will be there. Collective Arts. The Dirty South will be there to sell out again for the 3rd year in a row. Block 3. The Salted Pig, which is an all-bacon food truck.
Wow.
All-bacon food truck.
A truck made out of bacon.
And Redline Brew House and Oast House and Crave Local Fresh And that is our lineup as of right now. Tickets will be $20 in advance. They will be available online at Ticket Scene. They'll also be available starting in 2 weeks at Silversmith, Brimstone, and Oast House. And they'll be $25 at the door. And again, we'll keep it up to date on the Facebook site, any new breweries and everything else that come in.
Thanks for pig must really...
you jerk.
What was that?
Thanks for remembering to invite me, you jerk.
Yeah.
That lineup screams, I'm going to hang out at Black Swan's Digs all day, baby. That's what that lineup screams.
I don't get what the problem everybody has with joining one of these things. I just open up hangouts.google.com and I get the alert when the video goes live.
That's a problem. I don't. It used to be if you go to just G Plus, your G Plus page, just pop.
You know what? I was trying to set this up without my computer. I was trying to set this up tonight with my cell phone, and then trying to set it up with my tablet, and it took me like 45 minutes to set the event up because I couldn't just go through Hangouts or Google Plus. If I went through Google Plus, I couldn't do anything on the apps for the mobiles.
Oh.
Nick, have you seen the panel members?
And if I went to Hangouts, all I could do was make video calls, and that's it. So I'm like, what the? So I had to get the tablet out. I had to go through the internet. I had to find the help file that actually sent me right to the page I needed, and I had to do it that way.
You know what the saddest thing is? I realized. I'm getting feedback now. Paul did a live chat late last week, and he actually had comments available.
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah. He did. He had them down the side, where you could do like the live real-time questions on the YouTube page. I'm not talking about G+. And
so somehow he found a way to do the actual video game streaming as a show.
It's Paul. Paul did what he was doing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like when I stream my video games live, the comment section will stream over on the side.
So Paul just blundered into it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how to do that. I have no clue how to do that.
It was like 2 a.m., so no one commented, and I didn't know if they comment, if it like saves it. It used to do that. I don't know if it still does.
Oh, so. I don't know if you realize that I have a headset on and I'm talking to these guys because I have no clue what you just said.
What?
It's probably for the best if she thought Sigourney Weaver looks like David Bowie.
What? What?
I still say that final scene in the first Alien movie is pretty fappable.
Oh, yeah, once she actually strips her clothes off and you see that she's actually a woman, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff there.
Nice ass.
Bowie?
No, not Bowie. Fuck.
No, but Bowie had a great ass too. But
oh my god.
Talking Sigourney Weaver, dude. It was on Facebook. Keep up with the times, man. Come on now.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, Greg's not.
After hearing just hearing the news and all that stuff, and then the flood of social media about I'm the hugest Bowie fan. I'm just like, ugh, you're a liar. I'm out of here.
Yeah, most of them probably just heard Rebel Rebel like twice in their life. Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. Oh, Heroes. Didn't Creed sing that song? Wait a second. Didn't they cover that or something?
It was the Wallflowers, wasn't it? It was some obscure '90s band that fucking.
Yeah, it was the Wallflowers. You're right, mate. That's.
Yeah, Nickelback did that other Hero song for the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack that was terrible.
Yeah. Well, that goes without saying, Lee.
Yeah,
that goes without saying.
It was terrible even for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Look at Nick flashing the plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got like 14 of these albums, so
he's an actual fan.
Yeah.
All right.
Either that or he went out and bought all those albums this week after he learned he died.
Paid a premium for it too.
Nick's like a beer hoarder showing off his cellar right now. Settle down.
Good show.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, guys, I was just turning off that light, and since I have nothing on underneath this shirt, I had to turn the camera off to get up and do it.
I think you're lying. You're probably wearing plenty of clothes.
Nope.
It's probably got a onesie on, like a whole snuggie thing. Like
I do have Batman underwear pretty close to me. Anyway, to continue on with our beer news that we usually quickly run through, Muskoka Moonlight Kettle Series continues with the Smoke and Mirror Smoked Oyster Stout. So that's going to be an interesting one. Luckily, it looks like it's in smaller bottles this time because I don't know if I could do a 750 of a smoked oyster stout.
Question for the panel: does anybody really enjoy smoked beers?
I love them.
There are some smoked beers I love, and there's some smoked beers I fucking hate.
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't seem to be a middle ground. A smoked beer, I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna fucking hate it.
It depends if there's more flavors than just smoke in the beer.
I think it can also come down to the intensity of the smoke and the kind of smoke as well.
Yeah, I think if it accentuates whatever the base beer is, I'm a fan. But if it's like the predominant note, then it can fuck off.
Yeah, if it's like smoked fucking fish, no.
Yeah, I actually liked like really peaty and smoky Scotch, but yeah, in my beer, no. To me, it's like the best I think I've ever thought of a smoked beer is that it was just okay, and usually much worse than that.
Yeah, I'd say 90% of the smoked beers I've had were not my favorite, but I've had a couple doozies. I will say that, but they're usually misses for me.
Like the Smoking Wood we all had at the fest, I think, last year. That's an awesome beer.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an awesome beer. Just because the smoke flare was like, just one of, 5-6 different characters you were actually getting in the beer, and it wasn't, dominating the entire flavor profile. That's why I liked it personally, anyway.
Yeah, what about like Auction Kurla as well, the Roche beer from Germany?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I love. But then there's like Black Oak. Black Oak's Nutcracker Porter, which is a great porter, but they did a Scotch barrel-aged version, which was obviously an Isla cask because of the way it came off, but it was like licking a railway tie. It was just so...
And the funny thing is, I actually like that beer.
Is that really funny?
It is.
No, he probably aged it in his fridge for 2 weeks and everything is good.
That's called being predictable with your stupid palate. That's
Wait,
So,
which Black Oak beer was this?
barrel-aged Nutcracker Porter.
Do you have to specify which Black Oak beer? All of them, Ewart.
Listen.
Every single Black Oak beer.
Listen, I'll be honest. I was at the LCBO. I saw the pale ale and the nut brown. I don't think I've ever had them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a can to try. And then I looked at the canning date. I said, nothing. A few months.
No.
And I'd probably put it in the back of my non-magical fridge and forget about it. And then I'd come around like, oh shit, this ain't 6 months old. Pale ale sounds fantastic.
Their pale ale, truthfully, has the same problem that Innocente's pale ales have, where he seems to change the recipe almost all the time. Like, the batch inconsistency is there, but it's purposeful batch inconsistencies. It's like he can't get enough of the right type of hop, so he just does whatever he wants.
Why do you do that with pale ale? That's bullshit.
This is the worst
But
one.
like his nut brown is a great nut brown.
Yeah.
Well, both their regular beers are just kind of... They're okay to drink at a barbecue. They're nothing special.
How dare you, Greg?
You need to become the Black Oak Fairy. What you need to do is buy up as much Black Oak stock as you can of their regular beers, age them in their fridge for 2 weeks, and then put them back secretly into different liquor stores to enrich the lives of all the consumers who go there to buy these products. Aged to perfection.
Yeah, please. Actually, you know what? I'm going to place my order now, and then in a couple weeks, I'll come by and you can have these beers fixed for me.
Yeah, and you could get like Hall of the Mountain King or something like that as your theme music, as you're tiptoeing back into the old as you're tiptoeing back into the old liquor store to put the select cans of Black Oak back on the shelf, aged to perfection. Do 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 do.
Okay.
No. See, it's like I'm not one of those. I try not to be one of those people like, oh, it's a month old. It's too old. But I just wanted to give them a fair shake, and I just thought if I just sit around on it too long,
you're not one of those people say it's a month old. It's crappy beer. No, it's 2 months old and it's a crappy beer.
Not that it's crappy. I just like, well, if I don't like it, is it because? I don't know.
Yeah, is it because of the age
I'd rather
of the
try
beer,
it
or just the
fresh
beer
first
itself?
and then see how it happens, as opposed to getting it old and speculating. Older or not old.
That'd be a great name for a beer, Old Speculator.
That's the name. That's the name of my new brewery. What are you talking about?
Oh, you changed it from 20 Valley?
No, I'm starting a new one. I'm going to sell it real quick.
Okay. Bose is bringing back La Cour Noir Black IPA as their winter seasonal. Well, isn't it the spring seasonal? We're fucking January, February now. Anyway, this is so the Black Heart Black IPA. I never had this last year. It was released as a Wild Oat series. I don't know if any of you guys tried it. I'm sure Guy and Dale did. I don't know. It'll probably possibly be in the Steve's Brewmaster Select thing from the Brew Box. Who knows? We'll see. And Bose has announced plans for the 5th annual February celebration, and I do hope to get some of these because some of these sound pretty interesting. February 1st will be the Tyrannosaurus Gruit, a Gruit brewed with hibiscus flowers, red malt, organic spruce tips, and juniper berries. Then on the 11th, you get Embitterment IPA, so an IPA made with spearmint and peppermint for Lee.
Shut up.
Farm Table Pilsner, who gives a shit about that?
People
This one
who
I'm
like
really...
Pilsners?
Yeah, I don't care. The February 25th one is the one I'm most intrigued with. This is the Elephant Monsoon Peanut Butter and Grape Porter. Peanut Butter and Grape Porter. And then they're coming out with the Kourou Belgian style pale ale again. So a nice round of 5 beers. They will only be available at the brewery and the buy your own delivery service. So yeah. Upstreet Brewing is expanding distribution to Nova Scotia. That's a nice one. So PEI's Upstreet Brewing will be sending its beers to Nova Scotia. The 4 main brands from the brewery, their Common Pilsner, their Ruby Social Strawberry Rhubarb Wit Beer.
Fuck off.
The Do Gooder APA and the White Noise White IPA.
Well, the White IPA sounds vaguely interesting. The rest of it sounds like bullshit torch crap. But
I kind of want the Strawberry Rhubarb Wit Beer, to be honest.
Yeah, if I get a hold of them, I'll send them out.
But
Who's
yeah,
this again?
This is Upstreet Brewing from Charlottetown, PEI.
It's Charlottetown, not Charlatan.
Charlatan. They're all liars there.
Charlatan is a liar.
And I just said they're all liars there.
Ah, well, they are from Prince Edward Island, so that might make sense.
Toronto's Henderson Brewing is launching its first brands this week, and it's going to be Henderson's Best, which is a classic ESB. Ooh.
Thumbs up, Chief.
Yes. I don't think there's all that many... Well, there's Collingwood ESB and all that now around the Toronto area, so... Unfiltered Brewing has released Really Focked Up IPA.
Oh, what a bunch of pussies. Oh, we can swear on Twitter, but we can't swear on our bottles.
Muskoka Brewery is launching craft distillation operation, so they're going to start distilling. They're going to be distilling later this year. Due to the experimental nature of the project, McMullen doesn't anticipate releasing any spirits for sale this year. Right now, this is a fun journey for us, he tells What's Brewing. It's a chance for us to venture off the beaten path, have fun, and try something new. We don't have any plans for what we will distill. We'll just see what we like and go from there.
If they're not doing it right away, then... If they're not releasing anything right away, then I'm kind of thinking they're probably going for whiskey or something like that.
Yeah, instead of just the moonshine that everybody else puts out right away.
Yeah, sit on it for 3 years, something like that, you know.
Well, they like to sit on things for a few years and then charge extra for it anyway. So
yeah, there you go.
So it works. It works.
Yep.
And it will give them it'll actually make it really cool because they can make their own whiskey, and then use their own whiskey barrels to barrel age their beers.
Yes. That's if a brewery can afford to do that, where they have to sit on their distilling program for 3 or 4 years before they can release anything, and then they can use their beer in the barrels. If they can afford to actually sit back and do that, why not do it? It's a great idea.
Yeah, and then you can start actually doing like what Innocent Gun originally did. After they put their beer in the barrel for the first time and they take the beer out, they could even throw some whiskey in it again and do a full-on beer-flavored whiskey again.
Yes, yes.
It's a really intriguing thing. I wish them luck. And it's a lot better than just making beer schnapps like Mill Street.
Yeah.
And then from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Greystone Brewing is set to open. It's secured its second location at 221 King Street, just a couple blocks from the Picaroons Boutique, and plans to open this spring with a focus on American-style ales.
Yeah, it's like one street over or something from Queen Street. I didn't know about that one, though.
Oh, yeah. So some nice, interesting news out there. Nice, interesting news. Yeah, for sure.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. This is something that we should have done last week, but whatever, we'll do it this week. This came from the guys at the Ontario Beverage Network, and this is 2015 Fun Facts for Ontario's Year of Beer. So number 1, 52 new Ontario brewers cut the red ribbon in 2015. It felt like there was more. Like, it felt like there was just breweries popping up everywhere. I mean, even Windsor got some breweries this year.
Now, how many? What was that number you said?
52.
Oh, that sounds right. There's this. I guess about 3 here.
But they might only be thinking. It might just be thinking like actual brick and mortar breweries instead of contracts. Because there's just so many names I remember from this year, like Shiloh, Shacklands, like just the Manitoulin Island. There's 4 of them on Manitoulin Island right now, and none of them actually brew there because none of them have a building. They're all just contracts.
Are they contract brewing, or are they just brewing like? I'm kind of curious because the guys in Windsor, Midian, who have a building that they don't actually brew in, but yet they have beer that goes to festivals. So it's their stuff. They're not like, I don't think they bring on a bigger system. I think it's a homebrew system. Can they do that?
If they are not contract brewing somewhere else, they have to have a licensed building that they're brewing out of. You can use like a half barrel system. Like, I mean, Brimstone started on a 1 barrel system. So I mean, you can have a tiny system, but you still have to have the building that's all licensed and fully upgraded. It's not like New Brunswick.
I think they have that. They have the building. It's got their name on it. It's not really functioning. You can't go in there. I mean, I should show you pictures one day. It's like it's an old, like, shut down place. They put their name on the top, and I even asked the next door to them. There's a little restaurant that I once in a while go to for lunch. And I always ask the guy, I'm like, "Hey, you seen anything over there?" He's like, "No." He thinks they just do it as a hobby. He's like, I mean, the amount of activity and beer coming there is like next to nothing. So.
Wow. So up to 88 new brewers could open during 2016. So there's 88 of them in planning right now. As of the end of 2015, there was 216 individual brewers operating in Ontario, which is huge because like 2 years ago we were at 100. That's a giant jump. Ontario brewers were funded $229,340 less by the government in 2015 compared to 2014. So in 2014 they gave out $3,428,654. This year they gave out $199,314.
Okay, Catherine Wenwet needs to take her mixed 6-pack back to fucking LCBO.
It doesn't say which breweries were funded, but I mean we talked about a lot of them. What was it? It was a lot of breweries that none of us cared about. The one in Cambridge, Grand River, they got like $20,000 to expand so they could go to the U.S. Thornbury got some money to expand. Just a lot of weird little ones got money this year, but not much apparently. There are more than 40 hop farms in Ontario currently. The 950 milliliter Crowler is rising in popularity. About 58 grocery stores are now selling beer in Ontario, which launched on December 15th. Mill Street Brewery operated for 13 years before it was purchased by Labatt InBev. 800,000 new beers were released in Ontario this year.
What?
100,000 new beers.
That seems... I assume that's like counting all like variations and barrel age stuff.
It's counting all that stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say that seems a little high.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's a little high too.
Yeah.
And if that isn't high, there's no chance of us ever trying everything, even just in Ontario.
If it had said 8,000 different...
Yeah, but 800,000.
Honestly, I don't buy that number.
Either do I. I'm not buying that number. And in the brackets it says subjective. So
yeah, highly subjective. Like probably different bottle formats for certain beers and stuff, maybe.
Ben Johnson was was for the second year in a row the best beer writer in Ontario, but cannot stop swearing.
And he's a terrible writer, actually.
The LCBO unveiled its first craft beer zone location with 1.89-liter growler filling stations at Summerhill store in Toronto. Ontario craft beer represented 10% of LCBO beer sales. And I know that number sounds low, but it's not also looking at all craft beer sales. It's just Ontario craft beer sales. So it's not like craft beer was 10% and macro was 90. It was probably closer to I'm going to guess like 25, 75 when you do everything else. Like you do Canadian, then you do import and all that. Beer cans now account for about 60% of LCBO inventory, which is good because the LCBO doesn't know how to refrigerate bottles. Bellwood's Brewery Skeleton Key Rum Barrel Aged Imperial Stout is the highest rated Ontario beer on Rate Beer.
Okay.
On what now?
On Rate Beer.
What's that now?
Rate Beer.
Is that the one with the bros that you can send them beer?
Yeah.
That's the Beer Advocate.
Oh, is that beer? I don't know which one's which anymore.
One of the Ulster Bros is Beer Advocate.
The top 15 most socially popular Ontario brewers by Twitter followers is at 34,200 followers, Steam Whistle. Next at 25,700 followers, Mill Street. Amsterdam at 25,600 followers. Bose at 24,900 followers. Great Lakes at 19.4 thousand followers. Muskoka at 18.3 thousand followers. Wellington at 14.3 thousand followers. Flying Monkeys at 13.7 thousand followers. Now these next two, one of them I understand, and the other one's kind of interesting to me because it's fairly new, but he's also a hockey player. So 12.8 thousand followers for Big Rig, 12.2 thousand followers for Bellwoods, 9.8 thousand followers for Lake of Bays. Fucking Lake of Bays. 8,400 followers for Kensington. 8,200 followers for Kitchissippi, 8,200 followers for Nickelbrook, and 7,200 followers for Sawdust City.
What's with all the love for fucking Steam Whistle? They're garbage.
It's you know what? I think that's because that's the one craft beer that anyone in the province could drink, and a lot of people when they move over to craft beer seem to go to that.
They're stupid.
Ontario's strongest brewmaster is Indie Ale House's Jeff Brodeurs, and that's subjective. They did a arm wrestling contest, if you're wondering. The highest rated Ontario beer on Untapped is Flying Monkeys Chocolate Manifesto. Out of all Canadian provinces, Ontario Googled the term beer the most.
Yeah, you probably had the highest population too, so that's not much of an achievement.
No, I know. Ontario's Brewers Directory lists 304 brewers operating or planned. A trademark dispute forced Underdog's Brewhouse to change their name to All or Nothing Brewhouse. That was the trademark dispute with Broadhead Brewing. The LCBO began selling 12 packs of beer in August as part of a 10-store plan. A pair of Guelph microbiologists began cultivating local yeast strains for Ontario brewers.
Did they get them from hookers in Welland?
Hopefully.
Where they get them from.
After removing Steam Whistle Pilsner from the lineup of 2014, the Rogers Centre brought in Hockley Valley Dark as the only Ontario beer in the stadium.
Smart move.
Ontario imported $7.13 million worth of hops in 2015.
Guess you need more arms.
Fucking hops.
Yeah.
A craft brewery in every city and town in the province is the goal of the Ontario craft brewers. Well, you could get that if you stopped putting them all in fucking Toronto.
All in the same neighborhood.
Like Niagara-on-the-Lake is going to have 4 of them on the same fucking street.
Yeah, but it's a tourist area. That's where they can make the most money.
Yeah, it's really good for the buses too because they just go straight down the street.
Yeah, and aren't there some wineries there as well?
Yep.
You can just hit all the boozing stuff.
Small Ontario brewers can now operate a second retail store if they have more than one production site. Small Ontario breweries can now pool delivery to the LCBO in licensed establishments. You know, some of these things are things you wouldn't think had to be put in there. Like, you'd think that you could do that all the time, but of course you couldn't in no Ontario.
Well, it's kind of like you'd think you wouldn't have to write on a coffee cup, "This is hot, you will burn
Well,
yourself."
Yeah.
They do have to write that.
So a new 3-cent per liter beer charge will be introduced in November. The new charge will increase by 3 cents per liter every year until 2018, or approximately 25 cents per 24-pack a year. The Ontario Craft Brewers Industry Association grew by 20 members in 2015 from 45 to 65, which is kind of telling to me that the Ontario Craft Brewers have 65 members, but there's 216 craft breweries in the province. Like, do people feel that they're not needed anymore, that they've done their job? Like, what's the joining requirements now? Has the requirements to join changed a lot that over 145 brewers were like, fuck that shit, we're not joining?
I suspect it probably costs money or something to join, and some people just don't want to spend it.
Yeah, I know one thing is contract brewers can't join. You have to have a brick and mortar building. There are over 1,400 direct brewery jobs in Ontario. Boom. And there was the facts for 2015. This would kind of be interesting to keep some of these numbers and see what it changes to next year.
Yeah.
Like 1,400 brewing jobs. How many are going to be here in the end of 2016? Oh yeah, that was gross.
Oh, gross. I was still doing it when you started laughing.
Now there was a new product out, and it is called the Growl Tap. And basically, Duchette said one of his buddies bought it and it came broken, but their customer service was so fast that they didn't even ask questions. They're just sending out the new part. But what the Growl Tap is a CO2, like a little CO2 canister, the little ones like that put in your air guns and stuff. It's that with a spigot on a line that you use to keep your growlers carbonated in case you didn't finish them in that first after opening them. It's a cool little idea, but how many people don't finish their growler? If the reason I don't buy growlers is I have to sit down and be sure I'm going to drink it.
It depends. Although it's probably marketed towards more beer nerdy, in the know sort of beer people who buy growlers on a regular basis, it would probably be the most useful for tourists who come into like a tourist brewery and buy their growler, and then they end up, I can't finish all this in one sitting because I'm not a regular beer drinker or whatever. Oh, there you go. You got the beer growler, sprig whatever the fuck bullshit it is, and stick it on your growler and finish it the next day or whatever.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the beer nerds will get a great kick out of it too, because they can buy their growlers, because a lot of them will go and buy, the big growlers of all the different beers at the different breweries, have all them lined up in their fridge, because we've learned that, a growler doesn't go bad as fast as people say. How long was that growler that Joe brought up here sitting around for? I think it was like a month.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
So they keep carbonation longer than people think, but once you open it, it's done. So if you open it, you can put this on, have a few drinks out of this, put this on, put it back in your fridge, then have another beer, and then tomorrow go back and drink it up.
This could help hopeless alcoholics like me whenever I go to Bad Apple and buy the growler, so I don't have to finish them all in one night.
Now the only thing on this is the Growl Tap is $50. Now if you're really, really into it, it's probably a fine price. It looks fairly. I'm going to guess the cap is trademarked, because I've never seen that piece anywhere. So they've probably trademarked the cap, but everything else you could buy for almost nothing out on the open market. But that cap, you're buying the cap basically.
And you got to keep replacing your own CO2, right? So.
Yeah, the little CO2 canister. But those things you buy like 20 of them for what, $10? I used to play paintball, and that's what they were. They were nothing.
It's a good sounds like a good bar investment. Like if you had a little mini bar in your basement or something to have that sitting around for your growlers and shit. Yeah, that sounds a good idea. Someone who's got that isn't going to mind paying $50 for something like that.
You know, it's like the comment I made on your Facebook post. I have never once had an issue with sitting down and finishing a growler. That may just be the alcoholic in me talking, but it's probably a good invention, but it's not something I would ever need.
No, I wouldn't use it either. I mean, people got to be smarter. If they're going to go into opening a growler, they have to understand how much beer is involved. That's why I'm a big howler fan myself, the half growlers.
Yeah, because you can actually drink the howler, and if you really wanted to, you could drink something else afterwards, if you really wanted to.
I'm totally with you. The only time I ever buy 64-ounce growlers is if I know I'm sharing it with at least a couple other people, because it makes no sense otherwise for me personally.
Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, especially with something good, you know.
I'm going to go for Cameron's RPA next.
Nice.
As long as it's something like not crazy heavy, like 10%, 64 ounces, really, that goes pretty quickly.
What are you talking about? I only get 64 ounces of Drippa. That's the only one I do, and that's what.
Who knows? Who cares? It's a shitty beer.
The real issue isn't the alcohol. It's how high your bid is from the floor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Lee. How high is it from the floor?
The alcohol's not.
You know, if it's only a couple feet from the floor, even someone like Old Man Murray, who's prone to injuries, could fall off and probably not hurt himself badly. So.
Yeah, I think when it comes to howlers as opposed to growlers, I just don't have any interest in drinking a 6-pack of the same beer when you think about why you're getting a growler in the first place. Usually when you're getting a growler, it's usually something that's only on tap, and I usually want to try it. I don't want to try 64 ounces of it.
Generally, I only buy growlers if it's something that I absolutely can't get any other way. You know,
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That if you think about it in that way, you can't go buy 6-packs of it or bombers or whatever. That's the only way you're getting it. So I don't know if I want to drink the equivalent of 5.5 beers of a beer that I'm trying for the first time, or that I can only get on draft. I think every place should fucking offer howlers at this point. If you don't, I think you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because 32 ounces is doable.
I was talking to the guy at Cayman Kettle, and it's only like $3,000 for that machine or something in that range. Like, that's nothing for a brewery like Bellwoods or Great Lakes.
It is $3,000.
End over fist.
It's probably the best investment that any new brewery can make, is getting a what you call a crowler machine. No doubt. I mean, not only does the beer stay for pretty much as long as you want. I mean, I've had crowlers that have lasted like 4 or 5 months in my fridge. So, I mean, it's not magical, mind you. It's just regular old fridge. But it certainly lasted. I don't know if it improved the beer, though.
Fuck you, Duchet. Fuck you.
What did he say? I'm sure it was the same.
Oh, it was, I thought there was more than 52 breweries. Chad proceeds to name 5. If I had to go in, I was trying to think of just contract breweries, and there's a lot of them, too. But, yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You should invite Aaron in here, but I can't translate nerd speak for too long. I can only imitate nerds, and I can't understand them.
Plus, he would probably just rip you to fucking shreds and make you leave like a little bitch.
Whoa!
Whoa! That was a lot of anger.
Wow! Lee, I thought you were on my team, man. God damn it.
No, I am on your team, but I mean, it's like, if I see a fucking great white shark coming for you, I'm probably gonna put my money on the fucking shark. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, he wins. He wins all the time. Oh no, especially with last week's commentary, Aaron wins. Like, we make fun of Joe being Troll America. Aaron is the king as of right now.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I like it.
And then on the little comment thread on your Facebook there, Nick, from a couple days ago. Remember that hillbilly who started going after me, even though I didn't even make a comment towards him under one of your posts there?
I did not see this. Someone needs to link me. This sounds fantastic.
One of my camera friends he's from Kentucky. But yeah, I didn't realize he was that much of a. Well, I mean, I knew he was South, but I didn't realize he was, solid hardcore, hate Obama, Republican.
The funny thing is, I just said, Fox News is shit. I didn't even make a comment to what his comment was saying. I wasn't replying to him at all, and he started going after me, and he kept trying to bait me into getting into a fight with him, and I wouldn't give it to him. I just kept teasing him. I just kept sticking the tip in a little bit, and
whoa. I'm rock hard right now.
I didn't really want to get in a fight on that comment, but on that whole thread, but just the whole thing about people saying, "Oh no, it's every other fucking news source that's lying. Fox News is telling the truth."
Yeah.
That fucking pisses me off.
All right, settle down, Nick. Nick, get out of control.
For those of you that don't know and you live here in Ontario, you can basically order anything at all into the LCBO. You will have to order at least a case, sometimes more. You will have to pay. You'll have to pay the shipping. You'll have to pay the lab fees. You'll have to pay any tariffs. You'll have to pay a bunch of stuff. But you can get anything in you want. Now, if you don't want to do the paperwork yourself, there's a new company that's been out for a few months now called Keep Six Imports. And what they do is they work through the LCBO, and they have breweries they actually work with and bring beer in from. Again, you're going to buy at least a case at a time. So some of them get pretty pricey, but they work with breweries such as for you were there, Cantillon, Stillwater, Evil Twin, Due to CL, bringing in all their special beers, Brasserie Dunham. There's a bunch of stuff on this list of things that they work with, and they try to bring others in as much other stuff as they can too that they think up would be worthwhile. But I mean, they're there. I was looking at some. They bring in some cool stuff, but again, some of the stuff, because they're in 750 milliliter bottles, gets quite expensive when you're buying a 12-pack of it. And all I want to do is try it. But if you could find yourself 10 friends, you've got it set right there.
By the way, I just opened up the Q&A thing, and Beer Snobs United says he loves smoked beer. Tastes like jerky.
Nice.
For fuck sakes.
It'd be nice if the LCBO could just, I don't know, bring in some of this stuff themselves. They know it would sell, so.
They got running the show behind the scenes. I mean, where are they getting their information from?
Fox News.
No, CNN, man.
By the way, Keep Six has probably been around a few years, Chad. It's just that their first time to get their site up. They've had an email sort of distribution list that you can order stuff in. His name is Peter, and he's been doing this for a while.
Okay, so the only reason I thought they were only around for a little while, one, because of the age of the site, and two, because one of the prominent beer writers here in Ontario was like, "This is the first time this has been able to be done this way, and I just made my big first purchase, and I'm excited." So I apologize.
It's just you're going off the shitty information of another idiot. So I mean,
thank you for instilling me with the new knowledge.
Yeah, it's just this is the first time he's had a site, but there's emails. I got emails going back years, so just looking at that from this guy. Never actually bought anything from him because I have to buy cases of stuff, and it's like, there's nothing I really saw that I wanted. If he ever got Cantillon, I missed it.
Could ever get Cunahan.
And that's the other thing too. Like, I'm curious because he works through he's associated with Barvolo too. So I'm like, where's Chester King on his list? That's what I want.
Maybe shipping or something was too much, or maybe the LCBO didn't like the labels, or.
Yeah, maybe he just hasn't gotten around to getting them in there. Because, like I said, he's been sort of working on this for a while, and he's got these regular channels. Yeah. So like, all the DCL stuff is easy, probably.
And if you read through his question and answer and all that, it seems that he actually has warehouse space at the at the Queen Quay LCBO. So that's your major pickup location. Is you'd go right to there. But he has an actual warehouse space in their warehouse. So that's great too. He can keep an actual backlog of some of the easier stuff.
Right.
And if you get it picked up, it says something like it's like a 4-day turnaround. But if you get it delivered to your house, and you can only do that if you live outside the GTA. But if you get it delivered, you're waiting for like a month.
Yeah, not good for hobby stuff.
Now, recently, in the last few weeks, there was a big thing about the regulatory commission of the AGCO and what you were allowed to sell at your brewery. And the guys at Covered Bridge were trying to sell dog treats made out of their waste mash, their spent grains, and they were told they couldn't. And there was big petitions put in. Now the AGCO, right near the end of the year, December 18th, changed. They modernized the list of things you were allowed to sell. So if we go down to Appendix 1, here are the things they are now allowed to sell other than the beer they make themselves. Items used for storing, opening, carrying, and serving beverage alcohol. They've always done that. They've always sold cups and stuff. But this is the thing with the AGCO. A lot of times, they know the law is stupid, so they just don't say anything. And then when something happens that they have to, then they say it, and then they're actually good at changing the laws if people come up to them and go, look, this is stupid, why are we doing this, and this is what we'd like to do. They've changed a lot of things in the last few years. But yeah, so things for storing, carrying, opening, and serving alcohol is allowed. Books, magazines, and other media related to food and beverage and local history and or tourism. Clothing and accessories which display the manufacturer's branding. Locally produced artisanal products. Locally produced means produced in the province of Ontario. Artisanal products means products produced in limited quantities using traditional methods. De-alcoholized wine and beer produced by the manufacturer. Tickets for public events taking place in the community, which means I can sell my tickets all the time now. Don't have to hide them behind the counter. Gift cards and certificates for the purchase of the manufacturer's goods and services. It does not offer for sale any products that promotes immediate, immoderate, or high-risk consumption of alcohol to a specific target people under the legal drinking age. The amount of non-liquor products made available for sale at any one time does not constitute a substantial amount of all products made available for sale in the store.
Yeah. I mean, I only believe they'll be truly modernized when they can finally start selling products to women, coloreds, and Orientals. But until then, it is a big step. It is a big
Wait,
step.
come on, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, yeah.
Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
Now, did any of you guys watch the video I posted today from the guys at Brothers Brewing?
Probably not.
I didn't, but I heard that did they make a beer using a
Yes.
macro lager
So,
as their water?
From the guys that brewed their pumpkin beer inside a pumpkin, where they actually cut out pipes and everything to put inside the pumpkin, comes the Upcycle IPA. And what they did was they took Bud Light, and they don't tell you it's Bud Light, except for at one point they say we need copious amounts of hops to overtake the Beechwood aging. So they took Bud Light, they used Bud Light as their water, and they made a 6.5% ABV fucking APA out of it.
That's funny. Where's Jay Terrio when you need him right now to hear this shit? I'm
so enthusiastic about these guys and just how hysterical they are with this stuff. Like, hey, we want to make a pumpkin beer. Let's buy an 800-pound pumpkin and brew the beer inside it. And then we'll put the keg inside it, and we'll dispense the beer from inside the pumpkin, too. And then, hey, we wanna cut down our water intake. Let's use light beer just for shits and giggles and see what happens.
Oh, that'd be great. You know what? You need to get them subscribed to Louisiana Beer Reviews. Every time they do an examination, that's the new beer you use for your new batch, baby.
That would be amazing to get them to do. I'm gonna talk to Cameron tomorrow. See what I can get him to do.
The fuck?
Oh, we're going to get a copyright strike.
Is that his fucking ringtone?
Hey, he's not an old man. He's young and hip.
God damn it.
I hope Oh, I don't even.
I'm a pussy rock. I'm a pussy rock. I can't cut your rock. I'm a pussy.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I was just catching a highlight on Lip Sync Battle on another window.
I'm gonna drink Good Original next, guys.
Ooh, fancy.
Not as good as the lager, but pretty good.
Well, not as good as the lager.
I just got there before anyone else went there, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you've been doing that a lot tonight, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try the espresso barley wine. I got a bottle of that here.
Garbage.
It's not garbage. It's
Garbage
all right.
night
It's just not a barley wine, that's all.
Is it a 10 out of 10, Lee?
No, it's not.
Garbage.
Is it true to the style, Lee? No, it's
No,
not.
not really.
So it's not as good as the lager then.
Probably not.
Not garbage.
If you were rating purely on style, the lager would be better. Yes.
Wow. Then again, if you're rating anything on style, the lager would beat everything.
It would.
Excuse
it
me.
would pretty much. Yeah. Maybe except for maybe their stout.
The Irish whiskey stout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've really, really, really enjoyed the bourbon dark.
It's not bad.
I really, really enjoy the bourbon dark. It's not bad. On the same
Well,
page. I like it.
I mean, it's no lager. I give them that. It's no lager.
Beautiful
No.
beer, 6.5 out of 10.
Most excellent, A+.
It's shit! I give it a 99.
Garbage
Plus,
93.
plus, minus, plus, plus, minus, minus, plus.
So here's a question we'll throw out there. Did Dr. Dave die?
Now here's the thing. Now you say that. Now you say that. Now you say that.
No, you just can't afford internet anymore.
I
Oh.
guess. Why do
I
you,
was just wondering because I sort of idly checked his channel the other day. And it's
I
like,
did. I did too. For some reason, I have no idea why, but it happened, and it was like 3 weeks ago was his last post.
Either that or he got beaten up by a
Was he
homeless
out
guy.
teasing homeless people?
Or maybe someone put a contract hit out from Louisiana. Maybe, perhaps.
He hasn't posted anything in 3 weeks.
Nope.
That's yeah. I'm curious what happened then, because that's not like him. He would have to at least post a couple rant videos between now and then.
Mm.
We should do like what we did with Keith. Is just somebody reports that he's dead. We all cheers to him, and then it turns out he's not dead.
Who brought up that misinformation? Was it someone in Louisiana? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed
just
it was.
Keith that died, guys.
I wonder who fed him that information.
I don't know, but for future reference, unless someone has actually died 100% and you know so, I shouldn't mention it at all. Just probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Can we start naming who we want to die?
Well, I mean, your list is
That's
probably going to be a good hour and a half long, so no.
Okay.
I heard Ethan of Ethan's Beer Reviews is passed away.
Holy shit.
Did
Kim
he?
Mitchell had a heart attack.
Too much fucking hair gel.
He got killed trying to raise a barn.
Uh,
You're such an asshole.
oh fuck.
Now, what were you muttering? What were you muttering, Nick?
Kim Mitchell had a heart attack.
Kim Mitchell had a heart attack.
So no more music from him, maybe.
Guess he's not going for a soda anytime soon.
Good. I don't want to hear any more of his fucking music. I hate him, man.
You know,
Fucking
when
Right.
I was working at the Moose and Goose in Thorold, and yeah, you don't want to ever bounce at a bar in Thorold, first off. But he was actually one of the performers there when they first opened up as the Moose and Goose. And I used to not hate some of his songs, like Go for a Soda I could get behind every once in a while and stuff. But he didn't, and it's all the booze and drugs he did when he was actually big. But he couldn't remember the lines of half his songs. Like, they're so fucking simple. How can you not remember these lines? He was always making the crowd sing, and everybody thought he was just trying to get them into it. But he would stutter first, like he would stumble on a few words, and then hold the mic out to the crowd.
awesome.
I was the bouncer on the balcony area because they did it in the parking lot, and I'm standing there laughing, and people are just looking at me, and I'm like, what? I think this is funny.
That's the best Kim Mitchell story ever. And I'm saying that because all the other Kim Mitchell stories I ever heard were crap. Well, next to the heart attack story. That was a pretty good one.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I'm a mean-spirited motherfucker. What can I say?
Yeah,
if you don't know that by now, then you never ever known me.
Yeah, we've come to accept that from you, though. It's just, just goes with the territory.
Stuff I hate, I tell you I hate it. That's all there is to it.
This is true. You're not wishy-washy.
You're way more broken up over Bowie passing away.
Well, definitely, because he actually has talent compared to Kim Mitchell.
You know, and I was saying to I was talking to Brett about the Bowie thing, and I'm like, I wasn't a huge Bowie fan, but I knew Bowie really well because my family was a huge Bowie fan. Like, I know most of his songs because my mom, my aunts, everybody listened to him. And his passing is kind of sad because of that, because you grew up on that music. Even if you didn't love it, you still grew up on it. It's just like Krista Berg was another big one in my household. When he dies, I'll kind of be sad too, because I can sing all of his songs. Even though I don't like most of them, I can sing them all because I heard them millions of fucking times growing up.
The guy that did Lady in Red or something.
Yeah, Lady in Red and Spanish Train and The Spaceman and The Tower and Patricia the Stripper.
Okay. You're good. You're going into deep cuts now. I've never heard any of those ones. Think about Bowie. He was, he even into his 60s, he was still making great music and he was still making great albums. Compared to most of his contemporaries who are just fucking on the reunion train tour or whatever, singing the old hits. That's something notable.
When the Next Day came out, his last album, not Black Star, the one that just came out when that came out. I bought that when it came out, and I got the final edition that came with the CD, free CD with that, and had some bonus tracks. Anyway, I thought that album was actually really good considering he hadn't released anything in 10 years. But
yeah, he was just tinkering in the studios since he stopped touring.
Yeah, and it just seemed like he's just released another album. He's making music again, and all of a sudden dead, just out of the blue.
But he knew it was coming. I mean, you can tell. I've listened to all of Black Star now, and I mean, you can pretty much tell that's a goodbye record.
Yeah, but as the general public, he didn't let on that he was dying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. I mean, a lot of celebrities will play that card of feel bad for me, and he was like, you know what? This is my life. I don't need them all doing that, and that was great.
Yeah, I saw some sort of quote. I can't remember who it was from, but they said on his passing that he was like one of the few musicians who had every right to be a pretentious, stuck-up prick, and he wasn't, apparently. So, yeah, and the last few albums have been really great. Like he had a kind of a shitty period in the '80s when he was starting to clean up from the drugs and all that stuff, and
like Tonight and
all the Tin Machine stuff was pretty much.
What other singers and bands were big when you were growing up? For me, it was like in your household, not for you, but your parents and all that. My family was like. And some of these I totally despise, but like Michael Bolton, Krista Berg, Bowie, Billy Idol, Iggy Pop, AC/DC.
Oh, I love Iggy Pop, you faggot.
I didn't say Iggy Pop was the one of the... Michael Bolton was the one I disdain.
You were saying ones in your household when you grew up that you didn't like, but your family liked.
You that were big when you were growing up. I said even if you didn't like them, what were they?
Oh, okay.
Like Michael Bolton, I hate Michael Bolton, but I know almost all of his songs too because my mother was fucking infatuated with him. She wanted to fuck his giant nose. She was probably bigger than his penis.
I didn't. My parents listened to a lot of country music, so I kind of tuned that stuff out. I mean, there's a lot of like country music radio that I remember, but it's all kind of a blur now because as soon as I learned to listen to like actual rock music. That's where it kind of took off for me, and it all started, I think, with listening stuff that my brother listened to, like U2 and Rush and Genesis and stuff like that from the 80s.
Yeah. For me, my dad turned me on to a lot of great stuff when I was a kid. I mean, he liked a lot of that sort of alt country and country rock stuff from the 70s, and so that's what got me hooked on Neil Young, and that's like kind of like our personal favorite. Like that's like one of the connections I have with my dad, where we have a big Neil Young collection and all that shit, right? But outside of that, unfortunately, my dad really loves like what's his John Denver and that other fucker Taylor, the guy who does
James Taylor.
James Taylor. Oh, I fucking hate James Taylor.
Fire.
Oh God, I hate him.
I don't mind John Denver so much, but I hardly ever listen to like James Taylor. So.
Like that's the pussified adult contemporary end of country rock right there. I mean,
I was gonna say I thought I was gonna be the only one to drop John Denver's name, but yeah, that was weird. It was weird in our house. It was like they liked everything. So, but I mean, you talk about particular singers. I mean, besides any monster in Motown, there's a lot of Motown in my house, and there's a lot of and there's the other side. We got the country, which is the George Jones.
That's because you are just like 60.
Well, I'm saying this with my parents listened to. I grew up on George Jones, Randy Travis,
Hank Williams.
guys like that. Yeah, well, they weren't into that. I mean, that sort of.
I had a lot of Hank in the house too.
But they also liked Elvis.
Johnny Cash. He was pretty awesome.
Yeah, Elvis. There was a lot of Elvis.
Right.
Yeah, Elvis. Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Motown though. I mean,
What?
a lot of that stuff.
My mom had a couple of Beatles records from the 60s, and I played those. And I remember that's how I got into like rock style music.
Yeah. When I went to my uncle's house, it was Beatles, Skinner, the Doors, all that stuff. At my house, it was more folk and sort of like adult contemporary of the 80s and 90s.
Like what
My dad did listen to a lot of Canadian folk and like Canadians who went over to the U.S. and got big and stuff. Because like for a while in the 70s, he actually ran a nightclub in Halifax and stuff like that. So he actually booked like some of these bands in his club and shit. So.
Do you guys remember Lighthouse, the guy that does Sunny Days and all that?
Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah, the drummer, the guy that sang for them back then, Sonny was Christie's next door neighbor. So she has pictures at his house and all that all the time. And he was just a washed up fucking drug addict when he moved into her house. And he was telling me one day about how because he still lived there when I first started dating her. He was telling me about how he had a yacht and this and that, and he was a multi-millionaire back in the 70s and 80s when that was huge. He goes, yeah, I wasted it all on hookers and blow.
I remember hearing a story from my good friend of mine since high school, or since actually elementary school. But they live up in Hampton, New Brunswick, and Mike Greer or something of Red Rider lived up there for a while, and he actually was jamming with them a couple of times. So I thought that story was kind of cool. I mean, she showed me a picture of her and her boyfriend Andrew, and alongside Mike Greer. I'm like, holy fuck, that's cool. I'm probably a Red Rider fan here.
White Lion, great, I shouldn't say great, a somewhat known like Canadian hair metal band from the 80s. Well, hair rock, glam rock. White Lion. That guy lived in Arnprior, the singer for them. We actually, me and Jeff, the best man from my wedding that you guys have all met, he comes down for the festivals. We recorded our very first CD in his basement.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a big fan of April Wine, personally.
Yeah.
Helix. And
There
Helix.
are some good April Wine songs. Yeah.
April Wine was one of the bands that I liked when I was a kid. Actually, I had their greatest hits album on both vinyl and cassette, I think.
Did you have like Trooper and the Stampeders?
True, Stampeders. Yeah, I saw the Stampeders live once when they played at the exhibition here in St. John when I was a kid.
Weren't both of them produced by Randy Bachman at some point? I think.
I don't know.
Average Joe doesn't listen to
Basement
music.
Beer Reviews. The only guy that can comment on our Basement Beer Reviews. The guy that can only comment. The only guy that can comment on our videos is, this is a rock song. This is rock and roll, and then ... No, it's not, Kim. It's not rock and roll if you have to tell people it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
I thought he was a wild party.
And I'm sorry, patio lanterns are fucking lame. They really are.
Did anybody like him when it was Max Webster? I actually liked him better when he actually went solo. Max Webster just seemed so... I don't know, for me, I liked the more the harder rock sound, and the only Max Webster songs I heard was things like Diamonds, and they had nothing for me.
What was that? Million Vacations. I like that one.
Wait, what's this Max Webster? Did he do like a Garth Brooks and like become Chris Gaines or whatever for a while?
Max Webster was Kim Mitchell's first band.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Is that like the Mark Starr's beer reviews? Is that related?
Yeah, kind of like the Mark Starr's beer reviews.
Max Webster's beer reviews, yes. Mark Webster.
The opening act, El Horlock.
That will never get old.
What was everybody's parents' beer? Like when you were growing up, what was your parents drinking? Mine was Labatt Blue. Even my grandmother, and Labatt and Carling were what they were drinking.
My parents don't drink, so.
Well, my first taste of beer was at Carlsberg. I was probably about 5. But then my dad switched to Foster, I don't know.
Australian
That was probably
now he's not here,
mid-80s.
but we know from pictures it was golden.
My dad's was Moosehead and Keys. Although he'd get Schooner and Olin's as well too.
I think the first beer I ever tried was when my dad was at a ball game and just having one with the rest of them was Moosehead's Pale Ale. So I mean, every time I have one of those, it's so familiar. So.
I only ever went to one ball game and I'd never go again. One, I'm blind and I can't see the ball, and 2, I got so sunburnt I looked like my shirt.
Well, he used to play softball in the '80s, so just to like the local league.
So I won a gift basket at work because I every year I do a United Way charity thing off my pay, and I won a gift basket from work, and I get my gift basket, and there's some cool stuff in there, and there's a bunch of other stuff that I know has been in the pump room forever because I do the pump room stuff, so I know what boxes of crap are sitting there. And then there was a shirt in there, and I was giggling because I pick up the shirt, and it's a girl's small Toronto Maple Leafs Molson Canadian shirt. I'm like, oh, glad I won this. we're in the
Powerball, but
we're in the bank at the end of our shift, and everybody's like, try it on. So I have to get my badge off and stuff. I'm stuck like this in it. I'm like, guys, you gotta pull the shirt down for me. The bankers are laughing and everything. It only went to here. I couldn't move and put my badge back on. I'm like, okay, somebody has to open the door for me. I can't get out.
it was basically a bra.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it on the next pepper spray video we record. I'm gonna wear it and my old rugby shorts. So one of the 4 pepper spray videos that are going up, you're not gonna want to see. Not gonna tell you which one.
Let's avoid all of them.
Yep.
Wait, you post videos to YouTube?
Yeah, I post videos to YouTube. Who would know? I really am kind of pissed off now that I don't know how to get these comments working. If Paul figured it out.
Yeah, nobody cares. Everyone who comments is an idiot.
Oh yeah, we never have more than like 4 or 5 viewers, so.
No, everyone is not raining on your parade, Joe.
Parade. No, I mean, he does a great job. I'm a big fan of him. I know you're not a huge fan, but he's a good viewer.
Yeah, he actually usually brings up some nice topics to talk about too.
Highly insightful.
Unlike basement beer reviews, I don't know who that guy is, but he likes drawing pictures of penises. So.
Oh, we got a feud going. Between 2 active beer reviewers.
I forgot to send you the apology video, Joe.
I didn't even watch the other one. I watched that. I heard people say things about that video.
It was a great impersonation, really.
Yeah, his Joe impersonation was pretty good the first time.
I heard the second one sounded like a southern.
Yeah, the second one wasn't very good, but the first one sounded pretty much like you.
Well, like I said, you sound southern to me anyway, because you are south of me.
Well, yeah, I'm south of you, so that's fair enough.
Fucking hillbilly.
I know he did draw a penis. I was just wondering if he did something with that at the end.
Later.
Or if that was maybe Steve's penis.
Let's just put it this way.
Maybe
Once he sends you the picture of the mail, he didn't have to lick the fucking envelope to close it.
He does enough licking of Innocенte's fucking taint, dick, everything. Good times.
There's enough sticky to put the envelope together already. Gross.
Where are your pants?
Just for future reference, 2 basement beer reviews, just because the brewery is 10 minutes from your house doesn't make it automatically good.
Exactly. Like
well, here's Joe and Resurgence. Hello.
I was waiting for it. You liked everything from them. You were except for the vanilla cappuccino. You fucking want to be trolled with failing miserably.
Hey.
Also, there might be a fire in your house right now, so you probably should get on that.
No, I think that was his pacemaker.
Laundry day. Laundry day.
Speaking of basement beer reviews, why isn't he ever on here, though? I mean, he has a YouTube channel. You'd think he would jump in.
Yeah, should be invited.
Maybe he doesn't need an invite. I'd imagine Chad doesn't like it.
Probably not.
I invite him usually, and he tells me he's not set up to do these.
If you have a microphone and a fucking camera, you're set up.
Well, you don't even need a camera. You just need a microphone, really.
Yeah, you don't even need a camera. You got a microphone? You got a microphone on, like, even an inboard mic on your fucking computer? And a pair of headphones?
I'm going to drink
Lee is so fired up even when trying to be nice.
Silversmith Black Lager.
You don't have a fucking computer? You don't have one with a microphone? The fuck are you doing?
This Black Lager was bottled yesterday, guys. Bottled yesterday.
That shit's fucking horrendous.
Is it pretty well, or have you had it yet? And I'm wondering if it's still the same as it was when we had it 2 years ago.
Garbage? Probably.
Garbage 9.3? I thought it was.
No, just straight up garbage. It's all right for it's a black lager. But let's not lose our shit over it.
It was, and probably still is the best black lager I've ever had. But yeah, it's still just a black lager.
The Jack's Abbey Smoke and Dagger was better than that.
There are some styles like lagers that are just underwhelming to begin with. I mean, yeah, you can call them, great for their style, like Innocent Gun, but they're still just lagers.
And to be fair, I mean, I am getting feedback, but it doesn't matter, I guess. To be fair. How much is a bottle of that for a fucking 5% black lager? How much is that?
You know what? The prices did go down at one point, and I went in today, and I bought 4 bottles of beer from them because I was dropping off paperwork for the festival, and I was giving them some tickets and stuff so that they can start selling them when it's time to start selling them. And I bought 4 bottles. I bought 2 bottles of black lager and 2 bottles of their new The Devil's in the Details. It cost me $32 for 4 bottles. I don't know which way the price breakdown went, but it was a dry hopped golden ale and a black lager.
Oh, fuck that!
Fuck that!
See, that's
for 16 bottles by accident.
Listen, it's a good black lager, no doubt. But
yes, but for the price, it really isn't. If you're buying pints of it, you're buying your pint for like $5. That's great.
That's what you expect.
Yes.
I can buy an entire 6-pack of a better fucking black lager for fucking $1 or $2 more in the States. That is dumb. That's fucking dumb. I'm talking in the state. I'm talking conversion too. You're talking $8.50 a bottle. I'm talking like I can get
when they
the Jack's Abbey Smoke and Dagger $8.99 for a 6-pack. Like that is a couple more dollars.
When they first opened, they were $9 a bottle. And I used to go in all the time, and they'd be like, "Aren't you buying a bottle of black lager?" I go, "No." And they're like, "I thought you loved it." I go, "I do love it, but not for $9 a bottle." And then I went in one day, and they were down to $6 a bottle, and I bought a bunch of them because for $6 a bottle, I'll buy it because they are 650s, they're bombers. So at $6 a bottle, okay, sure. And I guess now they're back up to around $9.
Rent must be up on the street there.
And here's the thing. This is where I the whole fucking price thing when people mention it or whatever, I'm not a huge fan of it because it all depends. It depends on the style, it depends on the ABV, it depends on how much you like it. There's so many factors that when you mention the price point, if you look at, and we'll go with another Ontario brewery just because it's easy, a lot of people, and one guy is in here, and actually 2 of you guys, Greg and Chad, you guys are not a huge fan of Bellwood's pricing when you're talking $10 to $12 for some of their.
They do make some great beers though.
But
it's just hard.
But $12 for a 500 ml of a fucking 12% cognac aged imperial stout, and then you compare it to 8 or 9 for a fucking 650 of a black lager.
Exactly.
Silversmith can suck an entire bag of dicks at once in that respect because it's ridiculous.
And the price is like that because it's in Niagara-on-the-Lake, so it's in the high-end tourist area. But you'd think maybe they'd come up with something like locals get it for $1 off or something.
Or how much? Yeah, but they're doing that just because they know where they're at, and that even pisses me off more. It's like, oh, we know we're in a tourist spot, so let's take this fucking beer that should be $5
and
a bottle.
Like I said, like fucking Niagara Brewing Company. I bought 16 cans of beer. It was over $60.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not even
shitty beers.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, all I need to know about Silversmith is they have a fucking 8 IBU pale ale that tastes like it's about fucking 80. That's cool. Totally
yeah, Cody. It's 8 IBUs. How the fuck is it the same IBU as fucking Coors Light? Yeah. It's not. Oh yeah, it is. No, you have the numbers wrong, buddy.
he forgot a 0 somewhere in there.
Maybe 48. Maybe the 8 is the second number.
It had to be like, I don't care about IBUs because they're meaningless for the most part, but it wasn't 8.
Say it was I think he was saying 6. I think he said it was less.
I don't know. It was
Coors is 7. Coors is 7. I think it was like one number below Coors.
I'm pretty sure it was 8.
Maybe it was 8. I don't know. I just know it was right around the Coors line.
I just know the only single-digit IBU ratings I ever see are like either a macro lager or fucking some kind of fruit beer, or some kind of like super adjunct, like, oh, we're making this fucking crazy winter warmer that has all these crazy spices and I don't know, an 8 IBU pale ale. I don't think that exists.
You know what, Nick? You asked if it was still as good. When I bought it as a $6 bottle, I bought it twice as a $6 bottle, 2 different brewings. And one was just as good, and the other one I bought with their new Brewmaster that they had for a little bit, and it kind of had a bunch of fruit esters in it, so it wasn't. Now they have another new Brewmaster. It's a lot thinner, and it kind of has an almost ash taste. Like, it's almost like I'm drinking a fucking... it's almost like I put the beer in an ashtray.
Totally worth the $9.
Yeah, I'm sad.
That sounds kind of shitty.
But at least they have bright tanks.
Yep. What's a bright tank? There's no bright tanks in the U.S.
Americans, you morons.
Oh, Paul, we love you. Don't worry.
Only Paul. Paul does not listen. Paul has no idea what's happening. The vast majority of the time, in general, he's not aware of what's happening. Even when it comes to things he likes. He goes on your podcast and he knows all these movies, and then he fast forwards through them, and then bullshits his way through the show, and everyone's dumber for it.
So, Basement Beer Reviews. Basement Beer Reviews. Fuck you. Basement Beer Reviews has responded to you, Joe. He's responded to you, Joe. Ha ha ha, Joe. I'm 10 minutes from Grand River Brewing. Don't talk about them. I have a laptop coming next week, so I would love to jump in. I'll dress up like Terrio.
Well, here's the thing. You don't go to Grand River and buy them, but at the end of the day, being 10 minutes from you doesn't mean they're good. I mean...
dressing up like Terrio? That's more like dressing down, isn't it?
Well, you said it. Totally said it.
Yeah, you
pretty
said it.
Accurate.
Not me.
Yeah, well, if he's gonna fucking cry like a little bitch, then he's gonna get slapped like a bitch.
You have so many problems with so many people, eh?
I don't have problems with him. I think it's funny.
No, I'm saying you just have so many problems with so many people. You hate me because I have no pigment. You hate Nick because he likes vinyl. You hate Joe because he's south of you. You hate Ewart because he's older than you.
I hate because I love
everybody, and that's why we like him.
I hate because I love him.
I hate him.
What, are you saying he doesn't hate me for anything? It couldn't hurt.
Greg, you're just an easy target.
You're my only viewer.
Especially on the podcast. You are the only guy who comments, which is great. Because they're usually good comments.
Somebody responded to my long comment about Jurassic World for some reason.
Your long what?
Don't get him started on that, okay? We'll start talking about how Agnes is actually his sister.
It's actually his sister.
And things will get weird.
Things do get weird.
Not.
Fantastic.
This is the cheapest, shittiest bottle opener I've ever purchased. It's a BB Barfly replica, basically. It looks more like a fucking balisong knife than the BB Barflies, but it's so fucking weak, and it barely opens bottles because the fucking opening's too small, so it just clips it up a little bit on the corners.
Should have got one of those customizable ones from Greg's Beer Reviews.
Oh, you mean like the ones I have already?
No, get ones from Greg's Beer Reviews because they're...
No, I'm not
beer
buying
They're
it.
branded with Greg's beer reviews on it.
Come on, guys.
Couple
I'll
mugs.
get them shipped out to you real soon, guys.
Get one of my T-shirts. I got a couple mugs on it.
They got a couple mugs ready on my recipes, guys.
And how much you get one of these fancy clocks I got in the background says Great Beer Reviews on it?
Singing
What's
the
in-
clanging that. Join my Facebook group, guys, because you know that's the thing Facebook needs is another fucking goddamn beer group, guys.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah,
cheers,
to
guys.
anybody that has me on their Facebook list, please don't add me to any more beer groups. I'm just gonna leave them. I don't. Yeah, I'm just
Stop
gonna leave
it.
them.
You know you like getting added to beer
No,
groups.
I really don't. I just leave them.
That's fine. You are now banished.
I'm
No
okay with
longer
being
going to
banished.
be part of the honest beer reviewers of YouTube from 5 years ago, or whatever the bullshit fucking name of whatever group it is. There's so many now.
I almost want to go read that Bad Beer Traders group again because that kid gave me some laughs.
You know what has given me some laughs is Aaron on Facebook commenting on Basement Beer Reviews. He goes, if he's 10 minutes from Grand River Brewing, then he's not also 10 minutes from Innocente as well. Those are 30-plus minutes apart, so apparently you can't tell time or miles or kilometers, sorry. He also says, also, having Wellington, Grand River Brewing, Royal City, and all that shit close is probably what skews his perception of Innocente.
All right, Google Maps.
Block 3 and Innocente are so close together that that's a great little corner. The great thing about Guelph is you go to Guelph, and I mean Stone City is to me probably the best of the 3 breweries in Guelph. But you can hit up fucking Wellington and Stonehammer within 2 minutes of each other. Then you have Dixon Distillery there that's now selling its stuff. So if Stonehammer's beers pissed you off, you can go get a fucking shot of moonshine, and then 6 more minutes away is Stone City, which makes some great beers. Sorry, Royal City.
Hey, you don't even know the name of the fucking place, and they make great beers. Is that
I
what
know
you're
the
saying?
name of the place. There's so many places that are so close together.
Stone City. Let's just make up Stone City.
No, Stone City's in Kingston. Royal City's in Guelph.
How many dicks are in this distillery again? What are you saying?
Dixon. Well, we only met the dad. We met the dad who was there when we walked in. It was me, Nick, and Keith. We were looking around, and he was talking to us about his son. Like everybody else, his son was a big business guy, and he left his job to do something in alcohol, and this is what he's doing. And we had to look really hard to find these barrels, and it's not allowed to sell it as whiskey until this long, so we're doing moonshine, and this is our fruit-inspired moonshine because all the moonshines had different fruits maturating inside them, and yeah, it's cool walking into a craft distillery. I've actually never been in a big distillery either, and a craft distillery has pretty big stacks to begin with. I'd be curious to see what a stack looks like in a big guy.
You're to give you a tour.
How's whiskey going to be before it's called whiskey in Canada? It's 3 years, isn't it? It's the same as Scotland, right?
Yeah. 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Aaron also says Barncat Artisanal Ales, I believe it's called, will be where it's at. Mark his words.
Weren't they like? Didn't they announce
Cambridge,
opening,
Ontario.
like 3 years
Pretty
ago?
sure it's Cambridge, Ontario.
Like 3 years ago, though. Where are these guys?
I don't know. Fucking, that's what Aaron said. We'll let him, reply, and we will see what he says.
Hey man, these guys all got like Black Swan. It's just a short.
Whatever, Walkerville. Walkerville. That's all I got for you. Craft House?
He has Frank's now too, close to him.
Fucking Franks. Walker. I was gonna say Walker, but Windsor has the least inspiring fucking
it's the worst.
history of the world. Guys, I think we should name our place Craft Heads. What do you think? Yeah, you're all fucking idiots.
Exactly. No, I got a better one. We're gonna call ourselves Brew. That's what it's gonna be.
They just.
No. I'm gonna name it after me. That way no one can copy it. Frank. It's the worst.
It's so bad.
God love them, but jeez, man, what are they trying to appeal to? Like, just like.
If they make good beer, they make good beer. Like, fucking, you mentioned it before, but like the new brewery in Ohio fucking going nuts. Who farted?
Oh, I hate
Like,
the name.
what
That's
a
the worst
fucking
thing.
terrible name. They make good beer. They make fucking really good beer. But guess what? That name is fucking.
Did you just say their name is Who Farted?
No, Hoof Hearted.
Okay, Who Farted? Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like who farted?
Yeah, and a lot of their beer names are really cool. But oh my god, it's just like your fucking name just.
Yeah, they're gonna regret that. Like, if they haven't already, they're gonna just like, this is so stupid.
I mean, yeah, they're getting tons of. I mean, Buzz, they get fucking. They do bottle release or can releases like every other week seemingly, and they get a shit ton of people. But like, oh, that's a terrible name. It's a fucking terrible name. I don't even care, if they're trying to be funny. It's just bad. Just so bad.
I'm gonna open a craft brewery in Windsor, and after Aaron's inspiration, called the Beer Dudes.
Ale fuckers is the other one. Ale fuckers.
Ale fuckers.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear the fucking bullshit excuse. Oh, all the names are. There's like what? In the U.S. there's like 4,200 breweries. In Canada there's probably what? If there's a couple hundred in Ontario.
I think Jordan St. John said there's about 700 across Canada.
So let's say around $5,000. There's still a lot of names out there. Just be creative. Don't fucking take 3 seconds to think up your name, or just try to be. If you're trying to be funny, at first it's great, and I mean at first, like the first 10 seconds is hilarious. It's like one of those jokes where someone says it and then everyone laughs, and then they realize how fucking dumb it is, and then they're like, oh, let's go with that. Who Farted would probably be at the top of the list. Take some time and be creative. It'll make it worth your while, especially if you fucking end up being successful. Otherwise, people are just going to be making fun of you, like seemingly a lot of us do, because it's funny, because it's dumb. I don't know. Whatever. Franks, Craft Heads, great times. Fucking.
But I'll say Craft Heads has done some good stuff. Interesting stuff, like lots of variety, always changing it up. So
that's good.
And what do they offer their beer in? Is it just growlers?
Yeah, growlers are on tap.
Do they do half growlers, howlers?
No, they do not.
Oh, really? This is what I never understood. This is what I never understood about places that don't offer. It's like, can you just cut the price in half? That's all you're doing.
I'm just gonna tell them to fill my growlers up halfway.
You know what does the fucking crowler machine cost? We were talking about this. You can get a brand new one for like $3,000 at the most.
$3,000. I think
I don't know some crowler machines.
I don't know if you have to buy it through Oscar Blues. I know Oscar Blues is the ones that had it originally. I know like Resurgence here, the best brewery ever, right? They bought their machine. I think they bought it straight from Oscar Blues. It's $3,000. It's like you'll make your money back in no time. I mean,
that's how the Cayman Kettle does all their beers, is through the crowler.
No, I mean, the crawler and the howler, I think I'd still prefer a howler. Only reason, I mean, if I'm consuming it myself, you have to drink the crawler ASAP, right? There's no way to really save it. You're opening a 32-ounce can. You got to drink it in one sitting. At least with a howler, I can still put it back in my fridge, drink it later on, or even the next day. There'll still be carbonation. But I like it for sharing purposes, but also like carrying purposes. And also, if I don't plan on drinking the beer ASAP, I know there's really no chance of it going bad or having any issues with carbonation, anything of that nature. You can put it in your fridge and kind of forget about it and come and get it wherever you want. But as far as like, drinking it right away, as soon as you open it, you got to drink it, which isn't a huge deal for people. 32 ounces should be doable, I think.
Yeah.
I would like to see 16-ounce growlers, though, in all honesty. I think that would be cool. Get some powder can. I mean, powder cans are very...
We talked about that, too. I wish that they could just do a crowler machine where it had different heads for different sizes. Like, that would be an amazing thing to do. Especially because, I mean, it's actually price effective. I mean, I'm buying a liter of beer for $10, so I'm basically buying 2 pints. That doesn't bother me, really. But at the same time, if I want to try your whole lineup and you have 7 beers... I can't do that right then and there. I can't throw down $70 to get 7 liters of your beer. I would love to walk out with, $35 worth and have 7 pints.
I do think that, I mean, that is the one unfortunate things about breweries that don't package their beer, is that if they do have a huge variety, you're forced to pick and choose. And I know, at least for myself, but I know for a lot of you other guys out there, when you're sitting there and there's 6 to 8 different options, it's hard to pick what you want to get a crowler or growler of. It's like, you fucking start trying to think, do I want this? Do I want that? So obviously, I'd love all fucking breweries that have some kind of package deal, and specifically cans would be great, but you can only do what you can do. But I think crowler machines are the way to go at this point. I think I think it's almost inexcusable to open up a brewery now and not even have that as a thought. That should definitely be at the top of your list of something you want.
I really think that most breweries should sit back. It might take you an extra month to do it before you open, but you should have the crowler machine there. You can still do growlers if you want because they're coming right off the tap anyway. You can have your crowler machine, you can have your growler machine, and you can buy a single bottle, like a single bottle filler, for about $450. So have that too and you can fucking just fill that as you go too if you want, right off the fucking tap if you really need to. I mean, and then you have all you spent whatever it costs you for your taps plus another $3,400, and you can package any way you want now.
I do think a lot of, I will troll the shit out of all the East Coast U.S. breweries, and I know Ewer jumps on board even though he likes a lot of them because he's a piece of trash. But anyway, the tree houses and the trilliums and stuff, they still do 25-ounce flip top growlers that you can buy. I mean, that's how a lot of people buy their beer. I don't see any reason in this day and age with all the technology we have and everything at our fingertips that you couldn't offer anywhere from 12 ounces to 64 ounces of different size packaging, whether it's cans or bottles, especially from well-established breweries. It doesn't make any sense to me. You should have the options for your consumers, your fans. It should be out there. And so many places just seemingly don't care. And that's kind of frustrating from the consumer standpoint.
Yeah, and that's just it. As you said, on the consumer standpoint, it actually kind of agitates me. But that's just me being the consumer that kind of wants it. And I mean, I understand that businesses don't want to spend the money. I get that. I understand that sometimes they argue that they don't have the manpower. Okay, whatever. But I understand the pricing of stuff because I've brewed at a few of these places now, even if it is just as an assistant brewer and all that, but I've done this. I've seen the breakdowns of it, and I understand that stuff, but I'm still looking at it as a consumer. I don't care how much it costs. This is what I would want to make me want to come back here.
I don't think we're the only ones. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, when you go, I mean, a lot of these people do these crazy East Coast trips where, or even they go to San Diego or whatever, and you're trying to bring stuff back. It'd be a lot nicer to be able to bring back individual 12-ounce bottles or 16-ounce cans than forcing you to, I don't know, pick up a 25-ounce growler, a 32-ounce growler, or a 32-ounce crawler. You can get more variety, and that's what a lot of people are looking for. Especially, I mean, if you look at anybody who's going out of town on trips or going to a fucking different state or province, you're looking for variety. You're not looking to fucking pick up a 6-pack of a single beer or whatever. You're looking to try as many beers as you can because you don't know when you'll get back there. You want to try everything that's out there. So the smaller the amount, the more things you can try. I don't think it's rocket science. It's pretty easy. I don't know if many breweries care, though, at this point. Their bottom line is, hey, we want to sell out of the beer we have, and we want to get our word out there. We want the hype because then people want to come and see us. So if it's not going to make them any more money, then they probably don't care. And that's probably what the issue is in this respect. But, I don't know.
See, and I mean, I think anytime you give yourself more options for selling, you're going to make more money.
Well, it depends on what kind of brewery you are, though. I mean, to mention the tree houses and trilliums, and the only reason I mention them is they are like some of the hype breweries. They're even newer breweries that get as fucking crazy hype too. But like Treehouse, whenever they're only open I think 3 days a week. I think it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they typically post on their website what they have available. They sell out. There's no leftover beer. People buy up all their cans, all their growlers, whatever's there. It probably doesn't make sense for them to offer, fucking 10 different sizes or 10 different ways to buy their beer. They're going to say, hey, you can buy the beer these 3 ways. You can buy a 64-ounce growler, you can buy a liter growler, and you can buy it in cans. That's it. Done.
Well, that's that right there is basically all you'd need anyway. I mean, you get your can, you get your
True.
growler or your half growler.
True, and that's what a lot of these places are starting to do. Is a lot of them are doing. I don't know about you guys, but the pounder can is the most popular can at this point. Like every place I've seen is now
what's
using
a pounder can?
16 ounce. 16 ounce. So like whatever, 473 for you guys. That is
our most popular can here.
Yeah, and that's basically the most popular can here. I really don't see a lot of 6-pack 12-ounce cans anymore. It's pretty much 4-pack 16-ounce cans here. The only issue I have with them is that because they come in 4-packs, they seemingly want to charge an arm and a leg for these 4-packs. Like when a 12-pack of the same beer would probably sell for somewhere for like $12 to $13, but the 4-pack of powder cans will sell for $15 to $16, or like $4 a can. And it's crazy to me because people are okay with that, and I never understand.
It's even crazier when you think that cans cost almost nothing, and John from Nickelbrook gave me the breakdown one time, and he's like, a 6-pack of bottles cost me $3.50. A 6-pack of cans cost me $1.25, and that's with the beer inside them too. Like,
it's one of those things where I think breweries are kind of just testing what they can charge because, Bourbon County, we talked about this before. Matt was a guy that was like, really against it. But if you really think about what Bourbon County did this year, they basically fucked everyone who likes Bourbon County from a pricing standpoint. They took a beer that was in 12-ounce bottles in 4-packs that retailed, I would say the average price for them was somewhere around $22 to $25, depending on where you bought it. Sure, there were some places you could find it for $20, and other places that would charge $30 to $35, but I'd say probably around $22 to $25. And that was for 48 ounces of beer. Now this year they put them in 16.9 ounce bottles, and they're embossed and fucking the bottles themselves are amazing to look at. Like they are fucking top tier, just. Like if you have a bottle collection, you want that in your bottle collection because it looks awesome, and a lot of people are going to copy the format. But you're talking anywhere from $10 to $15 for a 16.9 ounce bottle. So per ounce, you could buy 3 of those, which would be slightly more than that 4-pack, and you're paying anywhere from $30 to $45 for the same amount of beer that the year before you're paying $20 to $25. Not many people seem to be complaining about it. I get it. Great beer is great beer. But Bourbon County in 1 year pretty much raised their price point somewhere around 25 to 50%, depending on where you buy it. That is fucking insane. It's totally insane.
The biggest insanity of it is people just, as you said, aren't really saying anything about it. They're still jumping on grabbing it.
Because it's an amazing beer. And I'm the guy, I mean, I know you were with me and Aaron and other people. Certain people, they the price point is something they talk about, and that's fine. For me personally, I don't really care. But when you are so obviously giving the finger to like your consumers, like, hey, look, we can charge whatever the fuck we want for it. We know it's gonna sell out. We know people are gonna be clamoring for it, and we know people are gonna buy it. So fuck you, we'll charge whatever. I don't understand. Like, I don't get. Like, I get it, but I don't, and it's really frustrating because what's stopping them from next year just going, oh, now it's $15 a bottle everywhere. And people are still going to buy it.
Other than people not buying it, there's nothing stopping them.
Yeah, and it's going to come to a point, I think, there's enough, and I'll quote Ewert's New Money Lemmings. I like that, New Money Lemmings, right? There's enough of those out there, they have just as much money as they really want to spend on beer. But at some point...
They don't have money, first of all. They have credit.
Yeah, well, okay, they have... Whatever. They think they have money. They have money to spend on beer later on that affects them. But I think it'll come to when those folks start complaining, that's when I think breweries will do a double take, because if you don't sell your beer, then there's problems. As of right now, vast majority of it sells out. There's going to be a limit to people, and I'm curious to see where that limit is going to be in the next year or two. Because you're gonna hit a limit where people are just gonna be like, look, fucking beer's amazing, but I'm not paying this, or I'm not going to this extreme to purchase it. Whether that involves exorbitant prices or fucking the effort it takes to actually secure a bottle of it. Right now, people are okay with it, but a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't think everyone's going to be, on point with what these breweries are doing currently.
Especially with new breweries coming out every day that come out with some great beers.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I think there's so many breweries that have started realizing like what is popular. I mean, obviously barrel-aged beers, right? They're popular. A lot of people like them. But even the new hop variants, a lot of places are starting to use the mosaics and the citrus and all the New Zealand hops and stuff. And there are some breweries that people will look down upon that are making good beer. And once I think people realize they're making good beer and they're not charging fucking, $6 a can or whatever, people are going to be like, you know what, I could go get this beer at this brewery and do a fucking trip and spend hundreds of dollars and fucking, a day trip or a day and a half trip and blah, blah, blah. Or I could just stay at home and get this beer from here. And it might not be as good, but it's close.
And it's a lot
and I don't have to do a goddamn thing. Yeah, I don't have the effort and time and money. So much more worth it. And that is coming close. I mean, there are a lot of breweries putting shit out there that's really good, that gets good distribution. So I think it's only a matter of time.
Now, as we were talking about the cans versus bombers and all that, Niagara College has really started doing more cans. These are all the Brew 101 beers. These are the beers that are done by the professors, basically. It's their recipes, and it's basically supposed to be what the BGCP says.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
Each style should be. But I'm just showing these because, I mean, when you...
Is there a Helles Doppelbock in there?
No, there's what is this? There's a Pilsner, a wheat ale, a strong ale, a lager, a stout, and a pale ale so far. They also have a porter coming out and a bunch of others. But the students are starting to do a lot of their certified originals in these as well. Now, these cans are 473s. They're pounder cans, as you call them. Normally, they sell in 650s. The 650s would cost you $650. These are $325. So they're about half. They're exactly half the price, and you're only losing 150 milliliters of beer. These are a great purchase if you want to try all their beers.
Yeah, and if you care about BJCP bullshit.
No, I'm not even. I'm just saying, like, even the student brews are starting to come in the cans. So the cans are a lot better for your money because you're paying half the price for just only 150 milliliters less.
Yeah. And let's be honest, who wants to drink 150 milliliters more of those fucking brews?
Well, yeah, some of them are horrible, and some of them are great. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
Yeah. Now, these I think is kind of fun though too. I mean, these I don't care about all that much. I bought them just to have more stuff to review. But these are something fun, I think, for people that aren't craft beer guys or are just getting into beer and all that, because you can see what each style really should be. Because we've talked about those type of beers before. This is a great introductory to this style, or this is a great example of this style. It's not a great beer, but it has exactly what this beer should have. And I think that's a fun thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been out of topics for a while now. I'm just glad that our conversation has just kept rolling.
Did anyone ever read Winter is Coming's comment like earlier in the night? I might have missed it.
Who? Don't care.
Winter is Coming. Fuck you, Ewart! It's not rating for rate.
It's the same guy.
He just said he's drinking a sixer of Rhyme and Reason, and he'll hit up Cameron's and Nickelbrook tomorrow. He wants to know anything to keep his eye out for. He's already aware of Half Master.
Cameron's Pale Ale.
Cameron's. I don't think Cameron's has anything new out right now. You might be able to find their winter 4-pack that had the dry hop triple in it.
I'm sorry, but is there a lamer brewery in the province, maybe besides Grand River and Trafalgar, than Cameron's? What have they done new?
See, and this is the thing, right? 4 years ago, Cameron started becoming huge. Started doing huge things with the Deviator and the Obsidian and all that. And then instead of coming out with new things, they just kept staying with those beers that did great things for them. And so they're basically going back to where they were before. Like they were where they were, where they just had their 4 mainstays. Then they came out with these great seasonals that were really good and barrel-aged and everything else. And then they were like, hey, these work. We can go back to not trying again. And that's kind of the way it feels sometimes with them.
I will give them credit. Like I bought their 4-pack or whatever their fucking standard thing was, and I really didn't care for any of them, like the 266 and the lager and all that shit. Whatever. It was whatever. It was average craft beer. Like that's kind of what I expect out of it. But I mean, they were like one of the first in the province that I can recall that like they did the fucking barrel aged Doppelbock, the Deviator. They did the fucking Obsidian when there weren't a lot of barrel aged shit out there.
First barrel agers, period. And their first beer was they took the dark 266 and they took their amber and they mixed them together and then they threw them in Jack Daniel's barrels.
Yeah, and I get what you were saying though. Like it's now that's 2.5, 3 years ago when they first did that, and they really haven't done a whole lot else.
No, they're back to maybe 2 new beers a year. I mean, White Oak Savant came out 2 years ago. It's a really good brown ale, but it's just a brown ale, and it's just still sitting there too. I mean, they're really good beers, but it's like they come out with something new, and they're like, okay, we don't have to try again now because this one was good.
Yeah, I think a lot of places actually get that where like they come out with something new and it hits or whatever, and they just rest on their laurels. Like, oh, we got our core lineup that sells well, and we got a seasonal or specialty that also sells well, and we're done. It's like no.
And I mean, don't take me wrong. I actually really do enjoy Cameron's beers, and I enjoy the brewery and the people there. But they do just seem to be like, yeah, we don't have to try.
Yeah.
They're fatigued. They're dropping the ball.
Where on the other hand, I mean, Nickelbrook is kind of what you would want to see out of Cameras. In all honesty, like Nickelbrook taking a beer, which is probably. All right, here's a question. Can you guys think of a better, straight up, regular Russian Imperial Stout or Imperial Stout, non-barrel aged? I know. The fucking whale chaser from Matt's video that's in Ontario going nuts. He doesn't understand. He can't process the non-barrel aged stuff. But a better Russian or just regular Imperial Stout than Bolshevik Bastard in Canada.
Taste-wise, I think I liked Beyond the Wavy Wall better. But for what I get, for the price and everything else, no.
Let me rephrase that. A better semi-regular, whether it's a seasonal.
Okay, yeah.
Because the Wavy Wall was basically a one-off.
Yeah, but they did make enough of it that they barrel aged a bunch of it that's coming out soon.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not. Like
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes, out of
in all of Canada, I know everyone has everything, but just from I don't want to call it hype, but like just from its reputation. Like everybody seems to like that beer.
It's not regular yet, but the Reinhard Stout, I think that's going to become one of the regular.
Excuse me, who?
The Reinhard.
He said Reinhard.
Raining hard on your parade.
When hearts collide, yes, that's a great one. But as of right now, like Joe said, it's not regular. And I mean, what other 9% alcohol Russian Imperial Stout available all the time are you going to find that's like $13 for a 6-pack or $12?
I can honestly say, and you might disagree, but you are.
Yes,
can you think
disagree.
of it? All right. What? That's fair. Hey, you don't even have to hear it. You just disagree. No, but like in the States, can you think of a significantly better Imperial Stout that has good distribution or is somewhat readily available than Bolshevik? I really can't. I mean, you can say old Rasputin.
Nothing that's like nothing year round. But I mean, you get to me. I compare it to the Bell's Expedition, Founders.
Maybe Founders. Yeah, but I don't think Bolshevik. I think Bolshevik is up there with those beers. Like I think it's up there.
I'll do it side by side.
And then they take the Bolshevik. They take the Bolshevik and they just throw it in different barrels. They put different adjuncts in it, and they just continuously make different bastards. Like it's a whole bastard family.
And that's what I think is absolutely cool about that beer. It holds up to the barrel aging that they do, whether it's Whiny Bastard, Kentucky Bastard, the fucking the coffee one. What is it? Bastard del Diablo. Whether it's that, they cut it in half to half bastard. That beer holds up to everything that they do.
And the half bastard is fucking amazing.
I'm looking forward to the bastard box at the LCBO.
Yeah, well, you mean the stone one? You should have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, shoot.
No, and amazingly enough, the only thing I'll say about the half bastard is I love the half bastard, and I can drink the 6-pack in one night. However, I could get the full bastard in a 6-pack for the exact same price.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't always want to fucking drink a 9%.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying it just kind of hurts when you think that this is. And John has said maybe to my question because I said, is this just a second running of the mash? Because that's what it tastes like. Everything's the same, but it's exactly half the ABV. And he's like, it might be. I'm not going to answer you. So, and if it is, I mean, it kind of hurts that I'm paying the exact same price for a second running of the
Just
mash.
listen, clean up your vagina. It's all good.
No, I love it. I love it. As I said, I would pay for it. It's just when you sit there and you think about it, I can get fucked, or I can just have a nice buzz.
Get a fan and try it out first, and suck it out with a vacuum. Suck all the sand out of there.
Yeah, I'm with
I was to say Propeller Revolution. Personally, I like that.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's a 500 milliliter seasonal that usually is on shelves now for like half a year, and it's $4.95 for 500 milliliters.
Yeah, I think it's very comparable. I couldn't say I like one more than the other, but yeah, those are probably the best regular I've had from Canada.
And number-wise, you're only getting like 200 extra milliliters for the same price of Bolshevik.
Yeah, so fuck that Ontario Swill.
To be honest, I'm going to agree with you on that. For Russian Imperial, standard Russian Imperial Stouts, Propeller Revolution's the bomb.
That's right.
Maybe we'll have to get a Propeller Revolution.
Look at these fucking maritime homers. Get the fuck out!
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a blind taste test one time of the Bastard and the RI and the.
That would be cool as shit for all of you.
Nick agrees with me. Fuck Ontario.
Why don't you all listen? Somehow, get Chad to send you guys each a bottle. You guys each get a bottle of Russian IRS or Revolution. I mean,
especially if you take a bottle of Russian Imperial Stout from Propeller and then age it for like a year.
Not allowed. Talk straight up fresh. I don't know what you're doing with this aging stuff. It sounds like a bad idea.
No magical fridges. No magical fridges.
But this is what we should do. Chad should get you guys out a single bottle. You guys do a blind taste test, and you could have Lee. You could have your brother pour it for you or whatever, and Dick, one of your buddies, and do it blind and see what you fucking actually think. I think that'd make it for a cool video to see what Nick, Lee, Chad, Ewert, all four of you guys. Greg doesn't count. He doesn't do videos, and nobody cares. But don't
do videos. Nobody cares.
Yeah, well, I don't do videos, and nobody cares. That's fine. But all four of you guys do it to see if you can put your money where your mouth is, baby. Yeah. I don't think you guys will do it though. It's cool.
Well, say I'm retired. I don't do videos no more.
Oh, baby, you're not retired. Everything fed you the beer mail, and then you hate on them, but then you still drink them and do the reviews, baby. But you're like, don't send me any more beer mail. Nick, I appreciate all 6 bottles you sent me, but I hate your fucking guts. Like, stuff like that happens. Yeah. I like those videos, though.
It has to be a WrestleMania event for Lee to come out of retirement, though.
Well, that would be the do, baby. I want to do this blind taste testing in the Dusty Rhodes voice, baby. That's what you need to do. Do it entirely in Dusty Rhodes' voice. Maybe throw in some Joey Firsta, who, we don't. I'm just saying, you could try to mimic that guy who showed up in the hangout last.
Oh, that fucking weird hillbilly there.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about half bastard here, someone right here.
But I think that would be a cool fucking little experience. 4 guys in Canada all doing a blind taste test of the 2 and see which ones you like better. To see the true winner.
You just want to see 4 guys, 1 beer.
I do, and I want the beer to be super dark, baby.
I'm gonna do Sleeman's chocolate lager next.
Chocolate log.
I'm cracking open a 1.5-year-old can of Wellington's.
You had us at Wellington, Nick. That's all we need to know.
It kind of smells like cat food right now. It doesn't smell bad.
Well, it is a 1.5 years old.
Wait. It smells like cat food, but it doesn't smell bad. Are you saying you're going to eat cat food?
No, like vinegar notes. It's just kind of...
Would you rather drink vinegar over fucking cat food, though?
Now, at one point, Wellington's Russian Imperial Stout was Ontario's Russian Imperial Stout of choice because it was the only one you could get year-round.
That was... Okay, I'll take it back. I think that one, for me, might have been better than Bolshevik, but I had it like 3 years ago when Guy sent it to me, so I heard it went downhill a little bit. I know Aaron mentioned it.
Has, with them expanding its rotation and making it in such bigger batches, yeah, it did go down a little bit. Where I can say that Bolshevik, the one good thing about Bolshevik is even with it being in such big batches now, it seems to have stayed true to what it was before.
Aaron also says Long Dark Voyage to Uranus.
I forgot all about Long Dark Voyage to Uranus, and yes, the Sawdust City makes an amazing Imperial Stout. But then if you're going to take, and I know that you don't like it and all that, but if you're going to take value into account, it's a $10 4-pack of 344s, or a $5 500. So again, a lot like the Propeller, it's pretty close to the same when you do the final touches.
So here's what we do: we take a can of like a bottle of Bolshevik Bastard, a can of Sawdust City's.
I don't know if that's year round. I haven't seen it in a while now. I think that might actually be like
a Propeller, and then do a gauntlet.
Oh man,
we don't do gauntlets, bro. I mean, I'm okay with that. That makes it very entertaining. But
never drink Russian Imperials again.
I still think the blind taste test would be fucking cool.
I think it would be too.
That would be cool, actually. I find
if you all four did it, I think the cool thing would not just individual person, but all four of you to see like what is the majority.
What we all actually agree with.
Yeah, or we can even add like Guy. I'm sure you don't
correlation
out of it,
yeah.
But whatever. Maybe for basement beer review, you'd fucking draw dicks on his face. You know, all kinds of things.
Joe has an arch enemy. I like it.
I actually don't even mind. It's actually pretty amusing.
He was funny.
It is.
He's just defending his home turf. That's all.
You know what? The funniest part about it is just how nonchalant and straight-faced he did the entire thing.
I did the fucked up part where he said fucked up. It did kind of like you said. It sounded like me, but the southern part.
The fucked up. It's fucked up.
I was just like, it's fucked up. And he's like, yeah, he's on top. Fucked up. Too many high scores though. Way too many high scores.
And like I said, if I went back and reviewed a lot of his mainstay brands, the scores would fluctuate so much because he purposely makes inconsistencies by changing the recipe all the time, be it what he ferments the temperature at or what he's using in his beers, and that actually makes me angry now. I mean, I'll say, hey, can you pick me up this, and this, and I'll pay you when you drop it off. Sure, and I'll get the beers dropped off, and they're nothing like I remember them. And then the next time I get them, they're the next brewing, and they're good again, and then they're bad again. Like it's just stupid. It boggles my mind.
This is I've never heard this argument from you before. This is new. What now? They change their recipes each batch?
Steve actually experiments.
I'm joking. I don't want to hear this shit again. You've been ranting with this for a while now.
Steve experiments on his recipes every time, and he's
trying to get it from a 10 to an 11. That's what he's trying. He's tweaking it.
Well, if you don't do it with your
he's trying to get it from a 5 to a 6. Are you fucking serious right now?
Probably has
he's trying to get the Mill Street Vanilla Porter feel.
No, I think it's one of those things where, I mean, from what I've seen based on reviews on YouTube and on Tap, there is varying opinions, and simple fact of the matter is, like, I've had like 6 of their offerings, and I didn't think any of them were amazing. And I don't even take it. Dev is awesome. Dev is a good friend, and it's awesome that he works there, but I'm not going to go overboard and say everything I've had from them is amazing. He mentioned that he put aside some of the barrel-aged stuff for me without asking. He's just like, one day he's like, hey, I got 5 barrel-aged beers that I've saving for you for like 6 months. I'm like, I'd like to try those. I want to see how good they are. I haven't had a lot of the bigger beers from them. I haven't had a lot of their so-called, like, you know, one-offs and stuff. But a lot of their regular stuff for me just fell way short of just.
I was really disappointed with the double IPA because I was told all over the place this was an amazing beer. I was even told by the Urban Viking because remember Steve got his start brewing in Scotland. The Urban Viking was like the double IPA is fucking to die for, and I drank it and I didn't like it. And then I did the blind taste test with it, and it was still out of the 4 beers I did in the blind taste test, it was the last placed beer. And I'm like, yeah, not there for me.
Just I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't want to say. I mean, actually, I will credit Aaron for this, but like, they are in an area where I think if the general consensus was they made amazing beers, they would sell out of everything. People would be going nuts. Like your Bellwoods, even in some respects to your Nickel Brooks and even Great Lakes and Amsterdam, and they don't. So my take on it is they don't. I'm not saying it's not because it's in Toronto. I mean, I do. Nickel Brook's not in Toronto, and they seemingly sold out a lot of their shit. I think if the general consensus was they were amazing, a lot of their stuff wouldn't last that long.
Nickelbrook doesn't really sell out of a lot of their shit. They sit on a lot of it for a long time. I mean, you can still get 2013 Whiny
It
Bastard
gets hype, though. It still gets hype.
It does get
and
hype.
Innocente doesn't. And there has to be a reason for it.
I mean, Innocente would do better in Toronto. Would it do amazing in Toronto? I don't know. But yeah, he loves hops. He'd do better in Toronto because Toronto has all those oh my god, it has hops, it's amazing. Now, I'm not saying that all their beers like that. Like, I mean, Bellwoods makes some great stuff. There's a lot of great stuff that comes out of Toronto. But his brewery in general would do better in Toronto than it does in Kitchener-Waterloo. Yes, I mean, he was the first real craft brewery, if you think about it, in Kitchener-Waterloo, because what else did they have? They had the Brick. I mean, yeah, the Brick versus them. I mean, that's what people knew of craft beer if they only bought in Kitchener-Waterloo. And then Block 3 opened up in St. Jacobs, and Block 3 came out, and they make some really good beer too, but they were careful with what they came out with. They're like, we're going to make a low ABV Saison, we're going to make a maple red ale, we're going to do this stuff that people could get to. And then Steve came in, and he's like, let's hop everything up. And it just, I don't think he ended up getting the hype that other people got because he just fucked with everybody's palates that was there. I mean, some of his beers are really good, but his inconsistency is a problem too. I mean, you can read on Untappd, and you'll see people that were like, last time I had this was really good, and now it's not, and shit like that. I mean, he would do better in Toronto, but yeah, you're right, Joe. I don't think he would do amazing in Toronto, but he'd do better than he's doing.
I mean, it's funny because, like, you look at some place like Great Lakes, and when I first started coming up there and started drinking this stuff, Great Lakes didn't have a lot of hype. Great Lake, no one really gave a rat's ass about Great Lakes, from what I recall. Like, they weren't releasing fucking their seemingly every month they have a fucking new IPA or something that's brewery only.
Great Lakes' biggest problem when you first started coming up is their Tank 10 stuff and all that. They wasn't a full tank yet, and their Project X stuff was on a one-barrel system, and now they actually make it in a bigger volume so more people can get it. It's like they drummed up a little bit of hype with very small batches, and then they're like, now let's make it bigger. And that's the right way to do it, I would assume.
Here's a major question: Innocente or Innoshite?
I know that's the thing. Like, even though I troll Innocente and I troll Chad and to a lesser degree Basement Beer Reviews. I don't even know who the guy was beforehand. The thing is that I don't think they make bad beer from the stuff I've had from them. When I see people that I am friends with or that I watch on YouTube or whatever go nuts about it, I get very disappointed when it doesn't live up to the hype for me, even if it's just a small hype, if it's a person or two. And I don't know, it's one of those things where I know beer is subjective, but at the same time it's like, I don't know. I look on Untappd and Beer Advocate and Rate Beer, all the best sites ever, and I just see that they don't fall in line with what Chad says or what I don't know. I feel weird calling him Basement Beer Reviews. What is his name? Does he have a name?
Jamie.
Okay, Jamie. I don't fall in line with what they say, so I do wonder if, like, I'm saying, I mentioned the bias thing, and I'm not saying you're biased because Dev works there, you get it for free, but I'm saying it's weird that just some people seem to love that brewery and the vast majority seem to be indifferent.
Of his four mainstays, the only one I loved is Bystander. And like I said, after the initial first two brews of it, I haven't loved it the same as I did the first two times I had it.
And that honestly, that was the beer that I remember seeing your video a couple of years ago, and you were talking about how it didn't have a resin finish and all this stuff, and I thought it was super resiny and very bitter. And
yeah, I've come up with the resiny ones. I've come up with non-resin. Like I loved it the first two times I had it. I had the first brewing of it and I had the second brewing of it, and then I've had the 4th, 7th, and 9th, and I haven't liked any of those.
Well, I don't know. If it's true that there's batch variation, what are you doing? Now, if there's batch variation, then he probably should stop, because that's probably the worst thing to fucking possibly do when it comes to craft beer. If you're going to intentionally change different temperatures and use different yeast strains and all this shit, you don't do that for fucking year-round beers. You just don't. Not if you're trying to make them...
The first time Dev came over with Innocente beer, my very first introduction to Innocente beer, I had the Bystander. What's the Conscience, I think is... Yeah, the Conscience is the APA. And he brought 3 different variants of the Conscience that day. There was 3 variants of the Conscience just that day, and that was the first brewings of them. He's like, this one he brewed at this temperature, this one he brewed at this temperature, and this one he did with this hop instead of those hops.
I don't know. Maybe Dev can fucking knock some sense in with a couple fucking flying elbows. maybe a couple attitude. I mean, FUs, right?
Yeah. It just sounds like Innocente has a really bad batch variation problem, and they need to fucking clamp down on it.
I mean, I know you paid a lot of money for it, but what was your actual thought of Southern Justice?
I really liked it, actually.
See, and I really liked it too. I had the bottle that was given to me, and then I also bought a bottle to age. And even at the price that the bottle cost, I really liked it. But I probably would have had more hatred towards it. Like, I still would have liked it, but I wouldn't have liked it as much if I had paid $30-some for it at a bar.
I think that's one that Dev has for me, so I'm curious to see as well if I fall in line with you guys.
I'll just say if it was my money, I wouldn't have bought it. Just saying. It was too much money for me, but wasn't.
How much was it again?
30.
Yeah, and it was like he bought it at a bar though. He bought it at a bar
for 500.
For whatever regular size they are, yeah.
Holy
500 is the regular size, and it was about $13 to buy it as a bottle.
Yeah, this was in Oakville too, so it's not
still 30.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude, that's more than double. That's crazy. At least you liked it.
Oh, I get 4.5, man, and that's like for Innocente.
His barrel-aged beers are actually really good. The only one I would say I reviewed and I can honestly say I was a little bit biased on was the beer I actually helped brew, which was the Belgian Pale Ale. But once
a shit beer.
But once he barrel-aged that beer, it was fucking to die for. But yeah, I will admit I did end up getting a second bottle of the Belgian Pale Ale, and yeah, I was probably biased because of the fact that I brewed it. Well, helped brew it.
Your credibility as a beer tuber is shot.
No integrity. You're a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Who, me?
No, Chad.
No, Chad. You are also a sellout. But we're talking about Chad right now.
Okay, yeah, Chad is definitely a sellout.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, here. The albino Ryo is a sellout.
That's why when I do homebrew reviews, I don't like to review the beer because I made it. And that's why when you guys were here that first year, I let you try it and do a video on it. I'm like, I want to know what you guys think because
I thought your one beer was shit. Everyone looked at me and whatever. I was like, I'm being honest. For me,
and that's all I wanted. Yeah. I wanted true criticism.
Yeah. Well, and I gave it to you. Lee's over there like, I can't.
There's nothing more honest There's nothing more honest than a moron of a stupid palate who can't explain beers. That's.
I know, that's why you quit.
I sent Lee.
Isn't that why you quit beer tubing?
Before Lee came out here, I sent him the Root Toot Stoot, which I actually loved, and I sent him my lime wheat beer, which I fucking hated.
He didn't even know what was in the lime wheat beer either. I remember that review. When you told him, he's like, "Whoa, really? I didn't get any of that." It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
And then the batches when you guys were here, I wasn't a big fan of the honey stout. I didn't think it turned out the way I wanted it to.
I didn't think the coffee beer that we had was bad. I just think the carbonation just ruined it for me.
And yeah, that was my biggest problem with it was it overcarbonated. It really did. Yeah. And then the ghost pepper beer didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but it was still good for me.
No, that was the one. The ghost pepper beer had no carbonation. Everyone liked it, and I was like, yeah, it has whatever, good pepper heat or whatever, but the carbonation was non-existent. It was
that's all it needed was carbonation.
It was flat. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason that one didn't carbonate at all. And then the coffee one, I loved the taste of the coffee one. My coffee pale ale, I actually liked it a lot. I didn't like it as much as say the coffee pale ale from Nickelbrook, but I liked it a lot. But it over carbonated. And then the honey stout carbonated perfectly, but I didn't like it.
I was just gonna say, sorry, Joe. What you could have done with the pepper beer is just say, "This is a cask ale."
Yeah, it's cask.
So it's Caspian cask or something like that, you know.
I was just gonna say, speaking of the coffee beer from Nickelbrook, it's to go for you or Chad or even Aaron if he's out there, because he seems to have a good idea on it. But is that going to be making the rounds? I know they changed the name to, what was it, Buff Cafe? Cafe? Can't remember what it was. And I think they released it in, I want to say, bottles last year. I think it was early last year, maybe, in bottles.
Yes, they were doing bottles of it right near the end of the year. Well, apparently the brewery itself, because they're doing all their main beers now in Hamilton, the brewery in Burlington is going to become one-offs, seasonals, sours, and barrel ages, and nothing else.
Well, that's a good way to go about it. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, especially.
Now, are they going to still sell stuff there? Like, so, like, if you just
they're going to sell. They're going to sell. They're using it as a second retail location, so they'll still have the main line there, but that's where you'll go to get all the specialty beers. And like I said, if any of you have been in the brewery, the fucking size of it is amazing. Like, he has fermenters all over the basement, all over the upstairs. He has an entire room of nothing but barrels. Like, he is set for this brewery being nothing but seasonals, barrels, and sours.
You mean the original one?
The original brewery, yes.
Yeah, I went on a small tour when I went there, and I was surprised at how much shit they had in such a seemingly small building from the outside. It didn't seem like there was a lot of space. Ended up being not the case, because there's a shit ton of space.
Yeah, and you think there isn't until you start touring. Did they take you down to the basement?
No, they were like, oh, we could go down there. I was like, yeah, whatever. I wasn't staying long, so I wasn't. They just were like, hey, you want a tour? Like, I showed up. I think it was 11:45, and they can't sell beer until 12. You know the whole fucking law in Ontario. And I was like, oh, that sucks. They're like, well, we can take you on a quick tour. And I was like, okay. So then I did, but they were like, hey, we could go down the basement, blah, blah. I was like, not really. I was like, I just want to buy some beer. That's all I really want to do, is buy some beer. I mean, I checked it out. It was fine, but I didn't need the whole thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, yeah, it's cool. And I was there when they were bringing in fermenters one time, and they were pulling them up and all that, and they were gigantic fermenters. And he's like, oh yeah, we can only fill these halfway because the floor won't support anymore. What the fuck? Why did you buy such a big fermenter then? But yeah, it's a cool place. John's a great guy. Ryan, I don't understand how Ryan can be the age he is and be the brewmaster for 4 breweries technically. Because he does his brewery, he does Bush Pilot, he does Collective Arts, and he does Nickelbrook.
He should pare down, because Bush Pilot isn't all that good.
Well, Bush Pilot is a collab with some guys from Europe, and they pay to make everything, and he just brews it for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Everything I've had from Bush Pilot's been overpriced for what I'm getting. I feel like I'm buying Lake of Bays big bottles. Which...
Really? Lake of Bays? Come on.
Coincidentally, Lake of Bays is going to start making all their specialty beers in smaller bottles so they can charge less.
I thought the Norseman was fantastic, and what was the other one?
The Norseman is the one I haven't had. I've had the Sunday morning, whatever. That one, the barley wine. I liked that one, but it didn't age well. Yeah, the first one didn't age well, and I had the one that came with the fucking opener that doesn't work, and I didn't like that one.
Oh, the dog tag opener?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one I don't think I had. What do they call it? The Bebop Blues or whatever the heck that was called? I don't know.
Yeah, the last one I didn't like. The middle one I didn't have because it didn't come down here, and the first one I liked, but it didn't age at all. Like I ended up pouring. I poured 3 bottles because they all soured on me.
That first one, he just put too much shit in it, man.
Well, that was it. Like some of that shit must have turned the beer, because I bought 6 bottles. I sent you 1, and I had 5 for myself, and I drank 2 of them, and I aged 3 of them, and the 3 of them all turned on me.
The Icebox was, I can't remember what I rated it, but it was fairly drinkable.
The Icebox is one I didn't have.
But it's one I wouldn't say is like amazing or anything.
That's 5 paddles, or is it?
No, we're talking Bush Pilot.
Oh,
Ryan Moreau's brewery that he does with the guys from Europe.
Europeans and their goddamn Icebox.
All right, I think I'm gonna sign off, guys. I gotta wake up early in the morning.
All right, brother.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea for me too.
Yeah.
The old man's got to go to bed. What a shame.
Oh.
Reconvene next week, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Same bat. Did you say bad or bat?
Bat.
Either one really works.
Oh yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, Basement Beer Reviews to be a special guest on the show.
He'd be more special than you, at least.
Hey-o.
May the force be with you, and we're all counting on you.
I'm sure he'll make a point to drop dick on your face, Ewart.
Good luck and Godspeed, everyone.
Yeah, right. Draw a dick on his face.
Yeah, or place it either way.
Anyway, YouTube, we're gonna go offline. We'll chat a little bit more while we're off, but I gotta go. I gotta do some stuff in a few minutes. Bye-bye.